Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock on a busy afternoon as we hold on to a decent amount of gains here this afternoon, heading toward what is to come on Wednesday. I brought this up to kick things off for one reason and one reason only. This is now actually December. If you go to November, which is coming up on Wednesday, we're looking at just, random head, we're looking at just 99.8% that there's going to be a hold coming up. This is it's tough to see, but 74% if you go out to December now, that we're also going to get a hold in the December meeting. Meanwhile, yeah, pretty good day. 1.1% right now for the NASDAQ across the board, pushing its way back towards day highs as we speak. It's been about tech all afternoon long. That's actually, if I get out of the way there, Snapchat. Wanted to point out the simple fact that if you look at day highs coming into play here as well, 870 looks like going to be tested at least at some point this afternoon. Earnings to come after the close tonight. That's the S&P 500 right now. A lot of green across the entire thing outside of Tesla, obviously the big one to the downside. It's been that way all afternoon. A little bit of weakness here as well in the pharmaceutical area of things. Energy, minerals specifically under a little bit of pressure. Everything outside of that, when you look at some of the mining stocks today, doing a little bit better overall. It's been, my screen has stopped, but it's been a pretty good day for the market. There we go. It's been a pretty good day for the market overall as we await, maybe a signal at least that the end is near when it comes to the Fed and what they've been doing over the past 9 months or so. But that's to come on Wednesday. Overall, the market liking it. That's Apple. Remember, scary fast coming up after the close tonight. Apple working its way back to day highs as we speak. That was one of the ones we were looking at if you were with us in the pre-market this morning. If you are not joining us in the pre-market every single day, make sure you do. Nice look here, guys. Day highs for Apple about to be tested here potentially ahead of maybe some more Macs. MacBook Pros, Macs across the board coming tonight.
Yes, sir. The scary fast event, to get this pun out of the way as many times as we can. Apple was actually, and I say was, because I'm not in the short anymore, but it was a healthy short at some point, at most points after the first 15 minutes of the day, but you are seeing some strength. It's now out and above VWAP at 170, so we'll get through this pretty quickly here. We're shorting 171 and then shorted the 170 we talked about in lunch money. This is a look of holding VWAP as far as I'm concerned. If it gets above the 171, that is going to be the 200 period moving average, so I still think that can be resistance. There's the 71 short on the 15-minute, but now you have a totally different market, up 1%, 14.4 reclaimed, back above 170. The only short I'm in right now is forward off of 990, so it feels as if this market has made a bit of a right-hand turn. I guess when you're looking at the way a chart goes, up is a left-hand turn, so left-hand turn to the upside. I think above 170 in VWAP, this is turning into a bit of a long, but I want to respect 171. That's what worked the best for me today. So I'll wait for that level to even think about shorts on Apple. So good turnaround. I don't know how big a deal this event's going to be aftermarket. I mean, they report on Thursday, right? Like, what do we really think something crazy is going to happen tonight? I think we stay inside of the range on Apple. I'm talking about, sort of underneath 175-ish in the 50 period. I think we stay well within that range going into earnings, which gives you plenty of opportunity to trade inside this range on Apple. But that is a nice break that the market is doing. I think you got to respect above 170 on Apple.
Yeah, we're long right now on Apple right here, so we'll go bang, bang, bangs as we're hitting some of these longs through that day high break. It's just starting to finally go now, so hopefully Apple will hold it out. Look, I want to be long Apple, so if Apple just continues to make this move to the upside, it's kind of an easy and an obvious feel for me. So I'm going to wait for that, see if it can continue to sort of print out for us here on the long. We're long Apple 170.27. I mean, you could see we flipped it over, right? Now we're all longs. We've made all of our money today short. Now we'll try some of the longs. We're long here on Tesla, now in the money $1 on this. And this has been the #1 stock for me today as well. Actually, Amazon, I'm up more on Amazon than I am on Tesla, but position pending right here as we flip this one over as well. So all is well right now on all of these names. Let's just keep it going to the upside. And I don't know. The market's up 1%. We've taken out some of these levels here. We're still not near the high of the day. but we're closer to that than we are to the bottom. So above VWAP, above the 50 period, we're going to try to stay long as we can here on all the names. And I'll go over Microsoft and everything. And by the way, we have a doozy on Sofi as well right now.
All right, let's talk about some semiconductors here as well. If you're with us this morning, we were touching on there was a minor catalyst across the board in this group this morning. NVIDIA overall was the strongest in the pre-market. We have seen a little bit of change as far as that is concerned. There was a note as far as a metals printing company that they had a significant investment in coming to market potentially in the coming weeks and months. So anything to do here, guys, as far as semis are concerned today?
Well, I can't speak for NVIDIA because I'm not long in NVIDIA, but I can tell you, Intel just went green, the market's up 1%. I flipped from short to long on this name as well. It's just, this morning was a very different story. When the market was breaking out, found a name that was relatively weak, so it could not break it and go anywhere positive. It was up like 10 cents from the previous close, so shorted it at yesterday's close into the 35 level, shorted it again back into that top and stopped out with a tight stop. And then once it held a higher low, I'm like, okay, go long off the higher low because 35 was the support level and it's holding a higher low. Let's flip into the long position. Now, at this point, it's either breaking this top, 35, 65, and then go for 36, or I'm looking to buy the dip back into 35 and a quarter where we got into. So that's the chip name I'm looking at. I actually did not trade NVIDIA today. It felt heavy enough that maybe you'd get a 400 test. It never got to 400, so that was the level I liked for the dip buy on NVIDIA. If it had gone to 400, I probably would have taken the long. But you know, NVIDIA had a double, like 2 days in a row, it showed you 400. It felt like there was every reason in the world to wait for that to come in, as it seemed like you were going to get there. But yeah, if you shot for a previous close, 405, then you would have nailed this, because it closed at 405 even, and this bottom here is right at 405. I mean, 404.80 something is the actual low, so that one held up pretty well. But yeah, I'm flipped to the long on Intel. I see a question about this RVPH. A lot of people have asked about this one in the chat. It is on the radar, but mostly because you guys have said so. It's a back above the double top and then halt price at 540. Also has VWAP support. This does set it up for one of those VWAP dip plays. Another small cap runner that is showing a lot of signs of strength. You always like to see it when it can hold that halt price, hold VWAP throughout lunchtime. As long as it does that, it's got a chance to take out these tops.
All right, we chip strong. Yeah, we only hit AMD, and we were short both times. Able to do well on the first time, and the second time in and then out almost as fast as we were in. The short just didn't hold that VWAP. So we liked it. You know, I thought it was a decent trade there for a minute, but then never really got going, and we were able to get out basically where we got in. So yeah, and unfortunately for AMD, we wrote down 99 shorts. Never got there, so we started playing the short a little bit early off the open, but never hit. So, you know, unfortunately, well, I mean, it hit, but just never, you guys remember we were trading this, so it didn't hit below this 95, so we did get a couple bouncing spots there. That's going to turn out to be a good long. So if the market does come back, which right now I'm net, I have Palantir short, small, but other than that, right now we flipped over into the long with the market breaking back out a little bit here, trying to anyways. You're bouncing around that 14.4 on the market, so I'm not sure. But I like AMD, and then we did have Intel love. Like I said, this is my #1 stock on Friday, and I should have traded it probably today again at these same levels, right there, 35.70 or so, has been a top there. So, yeah. I don't know, chip name's weaker than normal here today, because we saw some strong moves. Well, I mean, I think it was pretty weak actually on Friday. The market was being held up by Amazon and Intel, which had some love back there on their report. So I think if you want to go long, you want to go long Intel. AMD, I believe their report is it Wednesday? Hold on a second, AMD. It could be tomorrow, actually. Yeah, October 31st after market. So we'll get AMD tomorrow, and then that'll...
I got obvious joke
that'll
here.
Be nuts for that one.
Trick or treat for AMD?
I think it'll be trick. I think it'll miss.
Yeah, that was low-hanging fruit. I felt like I had that.
What do you think, trick or treat?
I have not felt, so here's the way I see it. If Intel's going to go 10% to the upside on their earnings, then I feel as if there's no chance AMD is going to do what you expect. Like 10% up for Intel, AMD is going to go down because you'd think in sympathy, how could it possibly not go up if Intel can do a 10% day? So therefore do the opposite and go the other way. What's interesting about AMD is the channel it's done. Like it is, actually, let me go here. Like AMD has been the opposite of Intel and Micron on the daily. Like AMD has been in this channel to the downside, whereas if I pop up an Intel chart, like it's channel to the upside. Micron, channel to the upside. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Like I really don't know how it's going to go. I slap a huge I don't know, but they have been completely opposite in terms of the actual trend on the daily charts between Intel and AMD. So if Intel was up 10%, I'm kind of thinking, let's go downside then.
All right, Chinese ADRs were relatively strong. Going back to the pre-market this morning, there really wasn't much as far as news on any of these. I saw this one still flying around here this afternoon. You got to go all the way back to pandemic times, but it was mid-2021. Caixin Auto, KXIN, ran up to $140. This is now $1.50. So it's been quite the fall from grace for this one. Going back to the end of last week, they got a NASDAQ minimum bid warning, which usually causes a crazy squeeze these days. But 60%, I saw a few people mentioning this KXIN. They're in the auto industry. They do insurance, online insurance. They do used car sales. They even had an EV division at one point, but I don't think that ever went anywhere. But crazy squeezer. If you look at a higher time frame, go back to 2020, 2021, it ran up to $140 nuts. Everything else, though, guys, a bit of a grind as far as Chinese ADRs are concerned today.
Grind a bit. Here, let me show you. I don't know how many times we're going to have to show this. At some point, I suppose this is not going to be available anymore. Like, so many companies will have bounced or disappeared or whatever is going to happen to them. But reverse split, do what you're supposed to do, double bottom on the day. So gets to $1, bounces, gets back to $1, consolidate, then the breakout. You could have had, and look, I'm sitting here, not like it was on my radar, I didn't take it, but there's 115 you could have for the break really early in the day, or when it simply breaks out of last week's highs, dips back in, shows resistance to support, and you take the second salvo to the upside. That is just a gold standard setup that has been working. You know, the frustrating thing for me was thinking Alibaba was going to do more than it did today. I thought the 85 level would come into play on a gap up. It obviously did not, so no trades there. But it did pull back into 83. I traded it twice. Once bounced into VWAP, second time in, dip, and then got out pretty much right away. So it was good, but I thought BABA was going to be a test of the 85 level and then maybe a gap fill to the upside. When it gapped up, strong the last couple of days, I was thinking 85 level. Instead, it was just a little dip buy into 83, which carried you into VWAP. Now it's the afternoon where the Chinese ADRs go to sleep. I'm not expecting to trade this name today in the afternoon, although it has held on to 83. If I were to do something, it would have to be like a scalp right off of the 83 level. So not chasing it up at quarters. I'm talking right at the 83 level for a bit of a bounce in and out. But it just shows if the level you like doesn't set up, then you got to wait for the next trade. And when this was doing nothing at the open, the next trade was looking for the dip. She had to wait a good half an hour for on Alibaba. Disappointing nothing burger. Felt like there was going to be an 85 breakout today, but we can wait for it.
Should have shorted. I mean, the problem is we're long. Just real quick. We just got a 50 out there on Apple, so that was pretty good. The market is falling back down now. Why? Not sure. 14.4, 14.3. Nice little motion there. Feel like, I don't know, man. If the bulls were trapped, they're already trapped there, and it was already down to the downside, so they probably smoked their positions out.
They got the rose.
I would think. But there it is, a nice little pullback in right now. Palantir's holding on the short. Nothing else, really. We are out. I see Ryan's like, let's go with Sofi. We're going to talk about Sofi next, but we got a lot of them out, man, and now we're taking the 200 period here at 82. So we do have the bottom of the day on Sofi, so that's why it's working out. But the market is pretty weak right now. We just got out. Again, Tesla is still the number Well, the number one stock here today is going to be Amazon. Then we're going to have Tesla. Then we're going to have Microsoft. So Tesla's still okay, but we just lost that one. So again, long 197 there, out 198.20, out 197 break. We actually got 197.20 or so, whatever that 50 period is. So now there's some pressure hitting this market. So yeah, I'm going to cancel some of my Apple dip buys right now and regroup here because we can't dip by Apple until at least 169.70, right, down in here into VWAP. So feel like that's a decent buy. Let's wait until we get into there and then use like 169.80, something like that, as a lower take there for Apple. We just got to hold out right now, see if Apple wants to get a little bit lower here.
There we go. I saw some volume just coming in here on 23andMe, back to 80 cents, it looks like. Didn't see anything, but a few people mentioning me on the NASDAQ. Also, now a penny stock. What a disaster that thing's been since its IPO. Let's talk Sofi. Yeah, a few people mentioning Sofi still this afternoon. Decent report across the board, smaller loss. They did increase their guidance. This was kind of interesting as well. They're teaming up with BlackRock to secure up to $375 million in personal loans through BlackRock. So a decent day overall. A good-looking report, guys, for Sofi.
Yeah, but then Sofi did that thing it does, where it tries to go, when Sofi is up 10%, it just sometimes looks like a fade. So if you want to try to survive things like this, the levels I liked was, here you go, breakout, right break, didn't hold, get out, then go into the dip buy mode, first off the 720 area, scalp out, breaks down, get out, play it off a 7, gets up to the 13, 14 range, take your profit, breaks down, get out, and I haven't touched it since. Like underneath this 680, like it's underneath that previous top, and I'm a little bit cautious with this one, just given where it is. Like it rejected that 7 there. It feels like it just cannot seem to get off the schneid. So, you know, for me, fortunately, like Rivian will be my worst stock. This one, in a lot of ways, it could have easily been, but you know, taking profits where they were and then making sure you adhere to the stops is the way to get out of this being a complete mess. There's only one place I think I could have reversed this one short. I would have had to have liked the short at 760. Like that very first level, I think I could have maybe had something there. But once it got down to the 7 range, I knew I wanted to dip buy because I've seen that work before on SoFi earnings. If you look at where this bad boy is on the daily chart, failing the 200 period moving average on earnings is not a good look. So when I look at this chart, I say you don't regain 7 soon. This could easily retest $5. Where if it gets to $5, I think a lot of people are going to like to buy this one. But that's what, if it doesn't regain that 200 period moving average in this little salvo after earnings, talking about this week, that could be some trouble for SoFi on this chart, because it has been in a downward trend going into this and couldn't hold a 10% gain. Position board just went away. So next, I'm short Ford, long Intel, long PayPal.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Go
ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, PayPal is kind of, it's not really on topic for SoFi, but given that we didn't mention this one, I should probably go over it. PayPal was doing that liquidity grab thing that we've been talking about with, like Michael Noss mentioned this, where if you find a support level and every time it gets underneath it, you see buyers. And this is what I mean. Like PayPal was breaking 50.75, and every time it got under that, you'd see like dip, dip, and go. Can't seem to break 51, but I'm looking at the long here in the 50.65 to 70 range. Underneath that kind of whip level, and if it can break 51, I'm shooting for the high of the day. I won't add to this or look for more longs unless it holds above 51 even. So PayPal's actually up 1% along with the market, which is, it's been a minute since PayPal was not worse than the market. The fact that it's even flat with the market, I think, is a great sign for PayPal today.
Yeah, I like PayPal. I think you should be buying some PayPal, to be honest with you.
50. Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
Coffee. And coffee?
I knew he was going to say that before you finished it.
Right there, I like some coffee crisp, that's for sure. Shout out to Randy. Thanks, Randy. Okay, so, you know, we have SoFi written on the sticky note, so I'm never going to let you go, sticky note. Right there. So we're going to wait to see if it does continue to make a move higher. I honestly, we waited for that bottom there. We were very, very patient. We already saw it make a bottom there at 674. It came back in. I mean, let's just zoom in a little bit here. So our first take was that bottom. You know, so once it ticked down there, and it was kind of lucky that we wound up looking at it. I was just going through my notes, and I saw that was the bottom. And then we had just made the bottom a couple weeks before I took the trade. So if the market, I don't know what the market was doing at this time, 1 o'clock, but if it continued to go down, then obviously this would have been a hit. But it didn't, so that's good. So then there's straight up to the upside. So there's a couple, you know, victory laps there on SoFi. Broke to 200, got a lot of these out at 85, 86. So you could see the long right now is 73. I think we had a 71 as well. We punched a little bit more because we didn't have enough. So right now, price 73 out, high side, pretty good trade there for SoFi. So we knew that it was going to be a problem, that's for sure, coming into today, and that is what it was. It was a problem. You know, you were up huge. We said that. I was talking about a fade in the morning. Obviously, the fade would have worked out just fine, but you would have had to do that.
Got a question.
Happened real quick, and then there was that bottom that didn't hold. So once it didn't hold, we were out.
If it was a problem, then long 670, did you solve it?
Check out the hook and let my DJ revolve it.
Doom, 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 doom.
Ting.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Vanilla Ice did invent rap after all.
Well, of course he did.
So
you are literally in a tracksuit, so we should be making a lot of references to hip hop today, for sure.
We were, and we were in our checkered Ice Cube Friday shirt as well.
Oh, you had the.
That's the kind of gangster.
Yeah, that's because that's the one from what's the movie? In Friday.
Something about a day.
A day.
It's not
on
Thursday.
Friday.
It's not Saturday. It's one of those days.
I had one of those.
Like a Monday.
I had one of those in high school, and then I think my mom gave it to a cousin.
Yeah.
Thinking I grew up. Well, I went away to university and
like water in your cereal that
some
day.
Stuff. I had like the Raiders fisherman hat. That went missing when I went to university. Like, you got to be kidding me, man. I love.
Everyone had a Raiders something back in the day.
I didn't even like
the Las Vegas Raiders are tonight.
Yo, they got to win tonight.
They got to win against Detroit. Yes, hopefully. Well, that should be a good. It's in Las Vegas, isn't it? I don't even know.
Oh,
I don't know
we just need them to win for Survivor.
Yes,
Actually, I don't care. It's just Survivor pool. Let's win.
Yeah.
EV stocks.
Stocks. Yeah. Well, we've been hitting Tesla today. Let's go over.
Yeah, what a day it's been for Tesla downside, as we saw on that board when we came on this morning, or this afternoon at 2 o'clock there. Glowing red, in fact, for Tesla, 5.07%, looking like it's going to roll over at this point as well. This seems to be part of the problem. Panasonic came out and said they were going to cut battery production going into the remainder of the year. One of Tesla's main suppliers for said batteries. So that seems to be part of the problem. This was the other note we were talking about this morning. BYD over in China reporting 22.1 billion US in sales. That's up 38.5%, suggesting maybe cutting into Tesla's China market share at least. That's a huge number, nearly a record for BYD for a quarter, guys.
Ooh, BYD.
That is a big number. So Y Brothers United, the position board is just having issues. Like, we're both in position. It just keeps on disappearing. The next fill, it will come back. I'm short for it. I'll get to 4 in a second because we're talking EVs anyways. And then Intel, PayPal, I'm still in. But Rivian, here's your coffee.
Go.
See?
It's
coffee and coffee crisp.
Here, that's for sure.
Rivian is down 4.
Rivian's
having a bad day. The market's up 1%, it's down 4.
All right, cheers.
It's not a good look.
Bang.
Unless you're Cation Auto, you're not doing well today for it.
How's your Faraday cards? Okay, did it show up yet?
Faraday.
The Faraday futures. Remember, it was like a $300,000 card.
That was more than that.
No, he's not doing that. What about? Hey, are you selling me your Fisker? Your Fisker preview, whatever you have there. Turn that thing on. What was it called?
It's
again?
always
the
on.
reservation.
My Ocean?
The Ocean? No, but I'm saying the reservation.
You want to buy it?
I don't know. I think
We'll
I
make
could
a
buy a
deal.
Fisker. Okay. Because the thing is that you signed up real early. Mm-hmm. So if you log in now, what does it say? Does it say
Reserved.
Reserve? Okay.
What do you want to pay?
For when?
What do I want to pay?
Whenever you want.
I was thinking about paying a couple hot
Whenever you pull the
chocolates.
trigger, they deliver.
Okay.
You want your Rivian?
Pull your trigger. No,
I'll
not Rivian.
I'll sell it to you.
Fisker, the Fisker.
You don't
Oh,
want
the Ocean.
The wife wants the R1T.
Yeah. You want the Rivian. No.
I want the Fisker, but I want to get the one that can solar. You charge from the. They have a solar panel.
That's
on the
the
roof.
Ocean.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know how. Do you know how long that thing lasts for? Is that like, because solar power is not. You still got to charge it up.
You want to buy it? I'll sell it to you.
Okay.
We'll make a deal.
I like it when Randy's in a deal.
Randy's
deal
very
mode.
willing to sell it. That's all I'm saying.
It seems like Randy's very eager to sell it.
I think that's what you should take.
I'm gonna go with like a low ball
with a
offer,
grain of
and
salt.
then I'm going to come out with it. You know, you're not negotiating well when you're saying right in front of the guy that you're going to have like a low ball offer to begin with. You know.
Let him know what's up. He knows what's up.
Yeah, you can. No, you download the app and it tells you how many days there are until a reservation is met or something. I don't know. So, anyways, all right. EV stocks higher. So I don't know. We were shorting
Higher?
that EV stocks.
But they're all
higher.
down today.
All I'm doing is reading the board.
Oh, you're definitely reading the book, but they're all down.
Yeah, so right now, Tesla today, definitely not higher, down 5 and change. We went long at the first point because we did not understand what was happening here. And I think even now, Brendo, I don't even think we really have a story about Tesla other than just a lot of pressure early on this name. We went long around 2 bills. Once it broke, we dropped it out. Then we were like, ding, let's see clearer now. And then we just started to go short. So the short really paid. Like these shorts are 201. That out right there is 198. Short again, out, short again, out, short again, out. And then we went long when it broke 197.50. Just felt like that bottom was already in and we were above the 50-period moving average. You guys all saw me take some profit there. And then Tesla just dropped below 197.50 and we got out. So right now, it's just hovering around. What say you, Brendo?
This was the main reason. I know it's loud in here, guys. Sorry. Panasonic cutting their battery production going into the remainder of the year. So one of Tesla's main suppliers for said batteries. So that seemed to be part of the reason anyway.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make some sense, and it was accelerated to the downside. I had one play on Rivian, and thankfully it was just the one play. It closed at 16.01 on Friday, double bottom at 16. So when it dipped into 16, went long 10s, and then got out when it broke down. Should have reversed short, didn't. I'm in Ford now because Ford came up closer to 10. It didn't get to $10, but if you look on Friday's low, what is with that wick? It's went a little bit more in the 15 there. So Friday's low, right in here at 990. That's where it turned around, so that's where I'm short into it. I think it can get back into 970.
Oh.
Ford is sick, and until position board, they were just there. Ford, yeah, they were just there. Sorry, guys. Still in the same 3, still short Ford, long Intel, long PayPal. But Ford, until this gets and holds above $10 or shows some kind of consolidation off the bottom, it flat bottom broke that 11 like an absolute champion on Friday. Well, I guess it's not a champion because if you're in that one, yeah, you're not happy about it. It was like a death spiral, it looked like on Friday. I was actually getting an oil change on Friday when I was doing some errands done on my day off. And then was looking at Ford. I'm like, oh, let me see how Ford's doing. And it was like, well, you've got to be kidding me. It's down 10%.
No, I talked about that on the show when you messaged us, and I said that there was nothing below $10. And honestly, like Ford is funny that you were getting an oil change. And
the irony of that, right?
It was Ford. Yeah, pretty disgusting move to the downside there for Ford. All right. Yeah, the only thing that we wrote down again, well, we wrote down Rivian. We wrote down Rivian 16 because, what was it, upgraded today or something? But it's, like we just said there, that report came with those Panasonic batteries and really just sent many of these names just reeling right off the open and really haven't been able to get going. Let me just check out what's going on here because if I'm going to buy that Fisker Ocean, oh, God. I was going to say I own Fisker shares, so I will not be giving Randy shares unless he wants 2 or 3 of them here for that Fisker reservation. Look at this. Look at this off the open for Fisker. Jeez. What does Lucid look like?
10% down?
This is... no, just because I never saw, like, that's... no, see, Lucid, I don't think Lucid had the same kind of drastic reaction there off the open. Nah, not as bad. It was Fisker really got smoked there. Did NEO do anything off the open? I know NEO might be doing nothing now. What's going on with my charts? Let's go. Yeah, so all the EV names really took a slide, but wow, that Fisker, that was, $5?
What the?
That went straight down like 15%. That's 70 cents on 5. Straight down to 4.30 without stopping, really. And that didn't stop until 10:30. So straight from the open, right down in. So yeah, I wish I would have known about that Tesla story a little bit more myself because I think the short was just so obvious. I flipped over to the long thinking it was just overdone and didn't really know what was going on there. So again, it's only my fault. You gotta you know, you got to be a little educated there when you're trying to make plays. That's
Got to be edumacated.
Edumacated is always better than educated, yeah. So there it is. We will take out one more trade right there. Spin it one more time for our trade here on Apple, as that one is up to the 40s, and it's just hovering right now. It doesn't look like it wants to go. With the futures underneath the 50-period moving average, I'm quite happy kind of washing my hands of this one. We still have about little more than 10% left on this trade, but not much more. So, oh, actually, wait a second. Where am I long 27s? A little bit more than 10% left, actually, on this trade. Never got going. It's going to be a positive trade. Apple's going to be a positive name for me today, again, unless it drops down. We could have bought the 50 period, but I thought it was going lower. You guys saw me hit like my cancels all over that stock when it was coming down. I thought we might have been over with, and we were heading lower. So, yeah, Apple. Do we still have to go back to the desk for the trade ideas? Because we can do that whenever if you want.
We're done with it. Yeah.
Or not, whatever you want to do, Ramin. Or you can just get, yeah, sure, let's go.
Okay.
All right, rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, as always, as it was loading up Snapchat here for me. Trader TV 25, guys, until Wednesday. So Tuesday, midnight, go get 25% off because they're very nice and they've provided that for us. Trader TV 25 will get you this. We'll get you the test drive, 2-week test drive as well. You can get that for 25% off, $11. What's wrong with that? Shout out to our friends, guys, over at Trade Ideas.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with getting a good deal. That's what it's all about. Make sure you
All
ring the
about
register
deals.
and grab that. Again, we all use it. As a matter of fact, and this is my way of using it here, there was a couple of questions about Unity because we got a bunch of earnings this week. Unity's Wednesday. First is Wednesday. Yeah, is it aftermarket? Yeah, aftermarket on Wednesday. $25. I remember, like, the symmetry on this one on the daily chart, there is 50. There is all the support. Well, I guess it's not all the support in the world, but all the support in the last year has been at 25 even. And that's where it's trying to hold today. Forget about the weekly. But Unity, I was going to show you four. It just took some out as it's getting under VWAP. If it gets down to low of the day, going to have bids every 3 to 5 cents. Try and capture some profit there. But this name, it is feeling a little bit heavy, but trying to reclaim that 25. So showed you the daily support at the 25 even. Has been a relatively sick name. It's trying to hold a bit of a consolidation. If this market is holding 14.4, there's a few names that look pretty good there. I don't think I'm going to get the dip buy on Intel. At least. All right, I'll stick with the 15-minute. My 3-minute chart in the afternoon is like my 3-minute chart needs a coffee. Doesn't even want to load. But if you look at Intel, I'll show you the 15-min. It is starting to break above 35.65. So that 35 quarter level, we're bouncing off of VWAP here. That could be kaputs if we hold 14.4, and we could just be running into 36. Then I like the dip buy at 35.5. So 35.50 looks like the place to get the dip buy, and we'll go from there. As I said, Ford looking okay. Apple is only 170 on Apple. It's not really doing much, which leads me to think maybe you can get back into VWAP, and that's where the long would be. But look at it just go sideways here. Like you're either in it or waiting for a test of VWAP or a breakout of this area. So I'm going to stick with the waiting for it to do something as opposed to trying to fight something. IBRX. So there was some small Immunity Bio making a move here. I was looking at a couple of others in the small cap space, not Immunity Bio. $3 looking at the daily chart. 340 looks like a nice triple top on the daily. So it's kind of within spitting distance of decent resistance. But that's got 10% till it gets to that level. Maybe give it some nice little stair step to the upside. You know my attitude towards these, rather dip buy than take out the high. The high of the day is 306, so I'd rather it fail this level, get right back in and look for something in the 90s. But that's a strong one. Good move. It's already done the consolidation here, so maybe you want something a little tighter to 3. Yeah, like a retest of 3, then maybe reclaiming the $3 level on a bounce play looks pretty good for Immunity Bio. Nice little runner there. And Coinbase. Coinbase, the powerhouse, the up 3.5%, the market leader. Well, it's not really the market leader, but just saying, usually we think the other of Coinbase. But today, Coinbase is relatively strong. Now, I haven't gone long today. I was only in one short off the high of the day. The 72 long, probably gold. Now it looks like a consolidation off 73. Bitcoin's been holding the 34,000 area pretty well. So, look at this 72, like 90s, I think, into 73. Like right around VWAP. It's now holding VWAP, looking like it wants to make a run at this high of the day. This is a strong trending stock this afternoon because it went top to bottom, double bottom, back to the top. Look for it to hold VWAP on the way. But up 3.5%, the trend is your friend.
Oh, man. Yeah, quite an aggressive day today. We knew that was going to be a little volatile. I mentioned it earlier, and a shout out to Noah. That was like, oh, my God, how volatile and sort of a little bit wild this day is. And I was just like, yeah, man, I mean, this is what we are expecting ahead of Apple earnings. And then, everybody just sort of getting their positioning ready ahead of the Fed as well, which comes later on this week. And then we'll see Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens with AMD, which is tomorrow night. We have Apple. Apple, for some reason, I think it's tomorrow as well, right? Isn't it? Oh, no, it's November 2nd, sorry, Thursday night. I was confusing Apple and AMD there. That's why I had to double check it. So November 2nd is Apple. October 31st, tomorrow aftermarket, is Advanced Micro Devices. So we'll wait to see what's happening right there. I am choosing, just like Pikachu, I choose you, Apple, right there up to 170.50. We just took another piece out there at 44s. Hopefully, it just continues to go. All right, update out of Palantir. So again, Palantir, let's put it on the board. Yes, right there. So there goes Palantir. And we tweeted this one good. Shout out to my good friend Brian Shannon, who of course has been on this show, I think once or twice, and then been on the recap show many times. And here's VWAP. So there's Palantir. Boom, boom. That's it. End of story. So Palantir, good trade. We are now out of it. I was just getting tired of it, honestly. It's just, it wasn't moving. It's been pretty dead now. Dead money for 40 minutes, pretty much, right? So we got the bottom of that range. I'll take it as we're holding the longs. We're long Sofi right now, which is also one of these. And then we're long right now Apple, which is a positive stock. We only have one trade. One trade on Palantir. It's the short off VWAP. Let's get out. We did that. And not only did we get out, we had a lot of outs right there in the 70s. It wasn't like a huge trade to begin with. It was short 85, 89, out in the 70s here. And then once we broke lower, then it was just like, let's just keep getting out. So then there's an out right there at 60. That's a day low. That's 30 cents on a $17 name. Another out even lower than that. That's 63. That's 60. Then out on a break of the 50 period at that time, I guess. And then the final piece out right now. And then, we have done it right there. I think it's appropriate for this one because there it is. Now we're starting to go to the upside right here pretty nicely with another one, and that is Apple. We just take that profit out right there as well. So Apple, nice buy there. Never really went against us. So if you're long right with me at 25s. There it goes, upside breaker. It's Apple, and there it goes. So that's going to be a nice move, but again, lack of confidence.
Wants the high.
Yeah, the market, yeah. And that's the thing. As soon as we broke right here and then started to sort of hover, this is when we took Apple long. It was just like breaking this. Thought we got some good feels in the market. I know we keep saying like some of these stocks aren't well, but honestly, the NASDAQ's up 1.21%. The ES is up 1.3%. What is
and
U.S.
Boeing's up 2.25.
Is Boeing up 2.25? What about oil? Oil is probably down, right?
Let's go Boeing.
So yeah, I hope Boeing can do well as well. Boeing and oil right now both making some moves. Oil up or down? Sorry. Wow, 3%. That's Michael talked about XLE today. I mean, I've sold this. And it's at that bouncing level of $83 again.
Oh, I didn't get Chevron.
XLE right at that level one more time. So just be careful here, guys, with everything.
Chevron was dipping this morning. Well, whatever. I stunk bid. It stunk bid. Like if you put a stink bid, I stunk bid.
Stunk bid it.
It doesn't sound right, but I guess that's grammatically correct.
I think get away with it, yeah.
So I stunk bid 142 on CVX. That still doesn't sound right, but I did. And it never got down there. So it's actually, CVX is already green today. So it's made a bit of a bounce. But look at Boeing. Boeing breaking out 183 right now. Double top break. It already happened. I'm looking for a dip back into 183. You go back to Thursday and Friday, resistance around the same levels. So look, if you're breaking out from here, I want to dip buy back into 183. And if we're going to hunt the high of the day, maybe actually close and take out highs, then Let's go for something relatively strong. That 3-minute hates me still. Yeah, looking for the dip into 183, probably those quarters on Boeing. All right, we're starting to pull back a little bit on PayPal. Do I want VWAP here? Yeah, I'm going to like VWAP on PayPal. They get down there. Wait for it. The thing about PayPal, like VWAP's actually at like 50.90, so 51 matters. Who cares about 51? You want the fills in here because PayPal is doing this thing where it has not had any kind of a bid forever, and then you just bounced off 50. Like if it's going to bounce somewhere, Friday bounced 50, high or low. I just think hold out for this thing to take out the top. What'll be really sweet is if this can take out 52 this week and then really start a breakout. But I think it can go, if the market goes 1.5%, I think I think PayPal can get to 2. That's what I want to see here. That's CVX. I wanted to dip by that stock today. Like this morning, I was like, ooh, look at the daily chart. I like the low 140s on Chevron, and then obviously we're not going to be able to get it. That's a bit frustrating, but it is what it is. You got to be able to move on to the next. One other one I wanted to get to was Microsoft. Microsoft was the other one I wanted to talk about. Microsoft, VWAP, you guys can see it. There is resistance multiple times at 336. Broke 336, held 336. So if we can get down into 336 and hold that, then Microsoft looks pretty good for a dip by long as well.
That's funny you mentioned because that's the only trade I made on Microsoft was good until that level broke. So we were short there, 336. We actually got a great trade, man, 334. Like we took a buck and change on it. We're still up on, actually, Microsoft's my third stock today. So it was actually pretty decent positioning and sizing there. And I think we might have tweeted this one out. It's funny you mentioned that because I was just going to talk about Microsoft. So it was just, and I was mentioning we poked its head above there a little bit. We tried the short again. The market was going to the downside. And of course, with the NASDAQ not being up 2%, we did pick on Microsoft a little bit. It did hit it. We did come right back down. That was an amazing trade, honestly. Really worked out. And then we tried again and gave some back at the exact same level. So now I agree. I think this is a long around 336.30, something like that right now. All right.
My shot.
Play in your shot? That's
no, I'm joking.
No. Yeah, Fabian's trying to figure it out. All right, so just quickly here. Shout out to Ryan in the chat. What's up, my guy, Ryan? Right there, it's for you. At Ryan. You know, it's like when you're on Twitter and you get like at Neil or at Sean or at Ryan right now in the chat told me, and I don't know where you got this from, but hey, I'll take it. No, I'm just saying Ryan. His name is Ryan.
Oh.
So when you're...
You had me searching for,
at sign.
Yeah.
You know, that at sign. So anyways, now I'm lost my way.
It's Monday.
It's okay. Anyways, I was just saying that because you mentioned Ryan in the chat there. You were like, SoFi's key level was 93. So I don't know if you got that from this little bump there at 12.16 or what, Ryan, but I did get out. As soon as you mentioned that, I actually wasn't even on SoFi. I saw you mentioning that there, flipped over to SoFi, and the rest, as you know, is history. We just got a piece out there at 90. I said I was going to get out of a third of what we had left, so that is exactly what we did. We got out of that position, and now we are close. Well, I'm at the high of the day for myself right now, net-wise, so that's going to be a good one. And part of that is because of this bad boy right here. The baddest wolf in the den is Apple at all times. It has huge buyers in there. When it gets going, you cannot stop this name. Apple right now, like watch, like 37,000 shares. That's a nice story. That's just going to go immediately, I would say. There, let's see if it goes. They're not even hitting anything, all these midpoint keys. Anyways, there it goes. So the idea behind all these trades is just trade the strength. And Apple, for me, was a real easy one because it was breaking right there. So we actually let it come up to 1, hit back. I mean, this is, if I could... You know, if I was smarter, like I was saying this to Brian Shannon the other day, maybe we'll co-author some books together because I was saying that if I could write a book, this would be a setup that I would like. And that is that you come up to a breaking spot, you don't break it, you come back, you test VWAP, then you go. So it's like it's not a gap and go, it's like a VWAP and go type of thing. So I really like that play, and that's what triggered this for Microsoft. So we're still holding on to that one. Of course, it could have been a loser, man. We were going to get out if it did take this level right there, which would have been 85. So it's like a 40-cent loser. So the risk to reward wasn't great here. We were just trying to play momentum, which is why we got a whole bunch out in the 40s when it wasn't breaking, right? So now it's up in the 70s. I feel a little silly to not take something out. So sorry, I'm not even on the screen. We just missed it. I put an offer at 78 there. Let's see if we can get it. As we just noticing that, hey, man, it's really climbing. The market's at the highs. But as Neil was mentioning, we're still a little ways away from the very top.
We're close.
So we're close. But if we can make friends with Apple up here at 78, then I don't know why we put 78 there. I could have just punched out 77 and saved myself 3 cents. But I often have those issues. So back to the upside goes Apple. Let's see if we get a 78.
Yeah, even Nvidia's up now 2%. Everything is looking like trend up.
Yeah.
Most things, Tesla's underneath VWAP.
I'm gonna get out 70.
That's been that's been weak. I showed you guys, I'm looking for 183 on Boeing. That broke out, but like this isn't just JP Morgan's up 1.5% and is actually holding off of these highs as well. So this is a name that's been sick a little bit. This is 138 exactly. The high, at least that's what I see. Okay, 138, maybe 05 or something. And you go back into Friday at lunchtime, it had resistance at 138 again. I feel like this could even be a runner. It's in this consolidation. I like Boeing better. Let me just stick to Boeing. But Boeing looks a little bit stronger. It's a breakout. Like JP Morgan's breaking out too, but Boeing is it's just more velocity. So when that one pulls back in, it's stair-stepping to the upside as opposed to consolidating. If the market's breaking highs, I want something which is continuing to go and then buy the dip on the thing that is strong. So I'm on the bid of Boeing. I'm looking to, it's starting to get time to cover Intel. Intel 36, I'm out of Intel at 36. So it just cracked 75. It's gonna get on the offer in the 90s. If it gets up there, I'm getting out. The further you get away from 35.5 here, then I don't want to be necessarily chasing that move up. I want something tighter to 55, 60 if I'm going to get back into that one. That's what we're going to look for. Yeah, you're absolutely. So Sean S. in the chat has pointed out TLT. And I just pull my chart up to you guys. You are now at resistance on TLT, morning resistance, up at 84. If that gets taken out, if we follow through, and you want to hold on to your longs, I am wary of the fact that you're at a bit of a turn zone, so you want to make sure you're capturing profit. But if we do get a dip, I want to play that momentum, and if we're going to continue higher, then buy the dip on anything you like strong. If you're not in the long and something is trending for you, well, at least trending in terms of the strategy that you're looking for, then I think you want to buy the dips. I'm going to get on the bid of Ford. Ford's not really doing anything. I wish that was a real wick. See, when you're in it, you wish these dark pools were real. But yeah, Ford just sitting here underneath VWAP at 978. If there's weakness, it's pretty clear. The irony of the fact that our rundown, the last thing was EVs strong, and EVs are literally the only thing that are weak right now. It's not even.
Yeah, that is true.
It's ridiculous.
No, I think.
Well, what else?
I think there was some. Was it TSM? I don't know. There was a few. There was a chip name. No, it's not. Was it Micron? Maybe not.
Micron's actually.
Micron's up 1%. Yeah, maybe they're all
never
fine
mind.
now.
It was
WDC
was the big one that was
WDC. That's
but they're up a bunch.
There was that story, right? So there goes.
Yeah, WDC actually held on to.
Yeah,
I mean, the majority of the game. It's up 7%, but it was up 10% early. So this one, there you go. There's a name underneath VWAP, but that's because it was up 10%, not necessarily because it was anything bad. That's not going to move. I don't think we're not trading that stock. It's not going anywhere. Solar names are weak. There you go, Steven. It wasn't Enphase we were looking at. It was a different one this morning, but that's certainly going to be a case. ON Semiconductor is another.
There's always going to be some.
Well, I mean,
Palantir's down. There's
ON's down 20%.
A lot of weak names, but
it didn't mean there was nothing that was weak. But the EVs as a group are all weak. That's what I was trying to get at. I don't know any of them that are strong today, unless it's Cation Auto, and that's a complete and utter gimmick trade off of $1. This is nothing else, man. It's reverse split, quadunk, and then bounce somewhere. If anything, should be paying for locates to short $2 if it gets there today. Unless they're free.
Yeah, I saw that on IWM. We were actually talking about the IWM before. Anyways, good out there on Palantir. We just, by the way, guys, like this is the thing. You're seeing these little, like I feel like some of the trades are going like unnoticed a little bit. Like you got to get out of your trades before they get right back up. You know, I mean, there's a couple of good examples today of Tesla making those moves. You know, it's good like just like getting away from, this is Google, but going long. Actually, I meant to click on Microsoft because Google's a huge winner that we should have held all day. We can talk about that more again. Google was a good one. Again, off the sticky note, all these levels here. Google 124, Amazon 130, AMD short, like that short was 99, so that didn't matter. But anyways, no, what I was getting at was this. It's like you don't need to be stubborn. Like I said, Microsoft, the number 3 name here today, and it's a short while Microsoft's up 2.5%. So I feel like, you heard Obi, you heard Adara talk in the midday a little bit about trading strong names or weak names or, just whatever. But you can't be in it forever. You need to get out when levels are breaking. So that's why we're able to be where we are today and watching some of these stocks going up, up, and away. I'm still in SoFi here, so I know that was that level for my guy Ryan there, but $7, we're still in it. Again, it did go down, so that was a good call on the 93s. We're at 93 right now again. I mean, this could be cool. Out, out, out. So, I mean, just for the sake of looking cool on the chart, we could get another piece out. But you are right there at 93. Hey, if this market's going to be strong, these guys were up 11% at one point here today. All the way up here at 790. There's no way, in heck, this is getting back up there unless, that was too obvious. But maybe someone like that comes in with ARK and buys some depressed names. But SoFi today, hardly depressed. Still up, but did have a nice day until it found no bids. And I was trying to find a bid, man. We tried to sit there and support that $7. We tried and tried and tried, and we were actually good on it. I think we were either net positive or very, very close to it because we did take a bath early. We were long 717 until eventually it broke down there, 707. So like a 10-cent hit. Then we tried to buy more, which was good. We bought 05s and 03s, which were good, back into the teens again. And then eventually dropping it off on a $7 take lower. And we got out at 94. So we waited for 95. So that was ultimately the problem naturally there for SoFi, which put us probably red now that I look at it. And then right there, this is a nice. So getting it back now on SoFi, put it into the Greensville right now. But there it is, man, that 93. Maybe you're onto something there, Ryan. We'll probably take a piece out here on SoFi, even right now. If I can get a 92, I'll take it.
Speaking of names that are running today,
yeah.
AMC just got to $10, $9.99 specifically. So just to
well,
prove that it's not just any round number.
They're out.
What's weird about this?
Out in force.
Since reverse splitting, this is actually like it doesn't really matter, but it is just grinding a little bit higher, like higher lows on the daily, rounding up. Now $10 psychological level, $11 is the actual recent resistance. But $10 did have a top last week. If this can go off 10, there's some room above this bad boy. I was talking about some other small cap names. We actually do have to pay for shorts on Cation Auto, and I know I like it at $2, but here, I'll show you what just happened. So I'm not paying for locates on Cation Auto. Like 2 minutes ago, it was at 180. Now it's at 160. So when it was at 180, it made sense to think about looking for the $2 short. Now that it's pulled into VWAP, why pay for the locates? It's $2.53. If it gets to $2 at this point, I think that's unlikely. So I'm not, wait around for it to do so this afternoon. But it looked like it had a chance to get to 2. I think it's a short at that $2 level. The market's still trying to get upside. I'm just going to get on the bid at Ford now because if this starts to join the party, I already did. I'm already sitting here at 76. I just want to get filled at 76. If this joins the party to the upside, I don't want to get caught. As this looks like the market is very, very strong. Still no dip buy for me in Boeing. I might back off the bid and just look for, if it's going to consolidate up here, then maybe I want it up here. Look for the next dip to the downside because this is going way too sideways for me. Brendo?
We're talking about these reverse split type stocks earlier. Here's another one trying to get a little squeezy this afternoon. Shift Pixie is an employment services company. Recently went through the same thing. So trying to get going here, guys, for PIXY.
Shift it up, man. Okay, we'll look at Shift Pixie. I was honestly, we were just talking about trying to look at looking at a few different names today. I wanted to go through a second day play here, and it might be a second, a third day play, a fourth day play. For some reason, I had a feeling Randy was there, and he's not. That's why I just like looked over my shoulder. I was like, who's there? But it is nobody. Is Enphase. Enphase today down another 5%. Wow. They really, man, been taken out, man. Because like I don't like, again, another move to the downside here. It's getting it. Yeah, it's getting pretty bad here for Enphase. And again, you know, their financing wing, they disclosed it. Not great there. They can't, you know, they can't fund what, you know, their current operations. They're not getting anybody behind buying new solar panels. Their financing rates have gotten way too high, and that was a profitable wing for them. But now, obviously, with where they are, like if you made a deal with Enphase, let's just say a year and a half ago, so this is what I'm getting at with the finance wing, they're underwater not only on your deal, right, but also on the price of the solar panels. So like right now, you might have put in some solar panels at a great introductory price of $100,000 for your house. Not only that, you also got zero financing or something like that, right, over the last year. Now, all of a sudden, Enphase, it's kind of like what happened with some of those regionals, right? They sort of get overexposed there, and the next thing you know, they're not unable to pay down their liabilities, and the next, you know, Enphase, again, borrowing money at whatever the prime interest rate is, whatever they might be able to get, and then having to then eat part of that fee because they've given it to me, the consumer, at 0 points. So that's, you know, it's hurting Enphase right now. That's my understanding of some of that. It's just like a car. You buy a Ford for $30,000 and they give you 0% financing, but then they themselves have to go and get money at 4 or 5%. Well, not only are they losing every single time that payment goes through, but now they got to sell more cars in an environment with higher rates. So they can't. They're losing on their current deals and they're unable to make new ones. So for me, Enphase continues to be a problem. And I don't know what the fix is. I mean, a shout out to Reliable Rudy and some of you traders out there that are a little more educated on this. I mean, that, as I put it, was a simply put. There obviously has to be more stories to this because this was $190 in July. Okay, it's now $78. Solar Edge is basically the same problem. Down to set. Well, now they're both the same price. So Solar Edge is actually, I don't know what's worse or what isn't here, but that stock $280 for Solar Edge in July, down to 75. So I'd say this one's getting it a little bit more, from 280 down to 70, when Enphase is 190 down to 70. So again, what really brought me to this was this TAN ETF. I just think that if you like the solar play, we talked about that with Randy and Fisker, that was kind of more tongue-in-cheek, but this TAN ETF, I mean, these ETFs are supposed to be like relatively, not safe, obviously, but safer, right?
You don't have single company risk.
Yeah,
that's kind of
but
the idea.
so that's this whole ETF.
But the problem is when the group is, my issue when the group is like that.
I guess I got to find the weightings.
Yeah, when you have like fundamental issues in the group, like I almost, like you, in that situation, I really just want the best one. Like if I can figure out fundamentally which one is going to be the best,
yeah,
I'd feel more comfortable there. When you like the space as a whole, and you don't see anything wrong with the space, you just think it's, say, like undervalued or something, then, you know, but there's nothing underneath the hood that scares you, then the ETF is a great place to go. So I'm trailing Intel 3580. That was the one thing I'm doing different as we are going to get to this. It looks like it wants this 36 level. Pedra 093, the Apple event is today. The, what is it, Scary Fast, or whatever the heck they're calling it?
Yes.
That's tonight. So it is aftermarket tonight. You don't have to worry about it during the market. It is only going to be aftermarket, which is good for us. I mean, typically, I think the ability to sort of digest everything that happens overnight and then be able to trade it fresh in the morning. I always like that a little bit better, but it is what it is. So I got that bid on Ford, trailing on Intel. Cation's not really moving, unfortunately. I don't think that's going to be an opportunity. AMC at that $10 level. Kind of looking for this to break and show strength over 10. Actually, this looks like, it does look a little like a short here. 11's a way better level, but
don't forget about,
it does look like a short.
The apes. The apes are here, man. The apes are here.
But it looks like a short. And there was a great question in the chat, what do I mean by locates for Cation? It's just that not every symbol is easy to borrow. So in order to go short, we're trading equities here at Day Trade the World. So in order to go short, you have to borrow stock, and then you have to sell it into the market and buy it back. But not every single symbol is easy to borrow through our broker. Sometimes there's a fee associated. Usually it's pretty small, a few cents per share. So like AMC's free, or just pretty much everything you see as trade, locates are free. But in the case of Cation Auto, you have to pay for it. Usually it's the kind of stocks that you've never heard of. Those are the ones that you got to pay for locates on, which is, it makes sense. It's kind of obvious. And those low float names are almost always pay for shorts, pay for locates. So AMC, yeah, I'm going to take a shot at this in front of 10. 9.99 is the current high. It's already wicked it once. The market's getting a little bit toppy, for lack of a better word. But I want this right at like 95, 96, and then see if I can give it to the 10 even. If it's not going to have the juice to just, like, well, I brought this up 10 minutes ago, and it looked like it was going to break $10, and it still hasn't done it. So if it's going to be doing that at $10, I'd rather take a shot, at least at that short off 10.
Just really quick here, I feel that we are going to, oopsies, I just pushed caps lock on. We are going to have a little bit of a problem here. Apple stopped at 170.80 there. So we have a good out. We have 5% left now. Remember we were talking about what we had left? We had about 30% out. So that's that right now. So now we'll wait. As we are starting to dip in a little bit here, a little bit more aggressively. We got that price. So let's go, man. Let's bang that one there. So shout out to Ryan. We did get that price. So we are now almost out of SoFi as this market's trying to figure itself out. And we do appreciate all the love in the chat for everything. But we need to find some new positions. But I did hear Obi mention something that was pretty good and needs to be noticed, and that is that even though I'm in two positions right now, we're trading real money, real executions, trying to put on good trades, I'll tell, yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys, like, if there's something that I see that's worth sort of stepping into with a bigger size, I'll talk about that. We do have some of those ideas brewing, and I'm going to get to them. But Palantir, again, could be one of those ideas. And the reason why I'm saying that is it's down 1.74%. You are coming up to VWAP right now. It's also coinciding. The problem is these wicks on these charts are really starting to distract me a little bit. And it's not even on Palantir. It's just like when I'm looking at all of them. And it's not even just our platform. I'm telling you, it's on eSignal, it's on Trade Ideas, and it's probably on yours as well, you guys out there. So I don't know what's up with them, but okay, I'll try to find out what's up with them actually. So 1490, I'm just thinking that we don't get up here today. I don't think we get back to 15s on Palantir. And that's just, again, something that I think, doesn't mean that it's right. I feel like Palantir is going to have a problem getting back up to that level. And again, we've seen SoFi get hit to the downside, right? Palantir's reporting, so many dates coming through. I want to say, is it the 8th? Second.
Second.
So it's the same as Apple. So again, that's what's getting a little confused here. But so still a couple days before Palantir. I like the trade. If you're going to look at the 20-minute chart, Palantir, again, there's that level of 15. We've already been there a couple of times, bounced around, huge move down. I'd like to see Palantir get a little closer to 15, and then we'll be putting on a short somewhere around there. So that if that can go, then we'll wait for it. But again, need it to go. The new strategy for me, and I just tweeted out what my play exactly was there on Apple. And I just feel like patience is something that is so key when you're trading, and something that I didn't always have. Even today, I feel like we're not being perfectly patient like we should. So let's wait for that Palantir close to 15. That will be a big trade that we could put on. This is the stock that's getting me upset about all the wicks, because Tesla's my number one. Amazon's my number one stock, but Tesla is there. It's because I lost, because we lost on that last tick. But this is another name where we're down 5%. A lot of EVs are having a problem going here today. So if these futures do pull back, which Apple's having a nice day right now pulling back, we'll have to go look at that. I'm thinking again of a nice short up here near 198.50. So you're still a little ways away, but just trying to be patient. Apple pulling back is a potential for a long again. So let's wait to see. Let's see if we can do the same move. This is 170.20. Okay, so this move was that top of 170.14, right? Didn't hit it, comes in, tests VWAP and bounces. Let's see if we can get a VWAP test again. And then if we do that, then I think we can punch long through 170.15. So I'm going to sit here at 170.05 on Apple, see if we can catch a long. Watch out for this 200 period, which is just at 90. So it'll be a small little take, but I'm willing to step in front of Apple here at this VWAP level of 170.05.
Exactly. If you're going to be patient waiting for things, it's just a matter of, I first identify what it is that you want to do, and then when it gets that price, do it. It could be wrong about this, but I said 36 on Intel, so I'm out at 36. I just got to 35.95, close enough. Close but no cigar, didn't get to the even, but I'm ringing the register anyways. If it turns around, I think the short fills are over 36, and that's based on what happened on Friday. Now, I wasn't here on Friday, but look at it, reject above 36, post-earning, previous to earnings, it would break 36 and reject over 36. So I'd want to short this thing above that level, ideally. Like you want to get in the 10s and 15s. Still some time for that to happen. AMC wants this 10 level. There's not much size on AMC at 10 even. Like 100,000 shares on a single gateway. It's actually not that much. I mean, size doesn't really matter in a stock like this. It's done 13 million shares, so 100,000 doesn't really matter. But usually, like you'd see more than just one big offer on a $10 level. There ain't much. So I don't think this is one to add to. If it breaks a high, I'm just going to get out. It doesn't look like it's good. Ultimately, I think what's going on here is, the old reverse split bounce. But because it's so liquid, like this is not panicking to the upside like these other names that have done the reverse split rebound are doing. It's just gradually going up. Ultimately, I think this thing is a short. It's just a matter of where that's going to be next, and it could be 14. 11's the bigger level here. So I'm not even going to hold this really past that 10 even. If it breaks this guy in the offer, I just get out of it. No need to fight that one altogether. PayPal, oh, you suck, PayPal. The market was dipping in there. There was that one candle. Thought we'd get VWAP, not going to get it. So let me just back away here. Once it's breaking out of this channel, then I don't want the dip underneath it. Like when it was in there, I wanted to dip into VWAP. Now I should be looking at the 51 for PayPal. So I don't think we're going to get back into PayPal. And as I said, I'm not even giving it the extra cents. Although if it wants to wick me out, it could have just been a liquidity grab at 10 with too tight of a stop. But it's not even pulling back that much. I want to give us a couple of minutes to see where it goes next. But yeah, I'm not going to jump right back into that short. Don't really love the level as much. That RVPH, it's back at VWAP here. Volume not great, holding higher lows. 38 million on the day, but that's really teetered down. I like the fact that it's holding VWAP. Yeah, there might be some time for this one to go.
Talking about that.
RVPH? I actually don't know the company.
RVPH.
But hold on, let me see.
Reviva Pharma.
Oh, so it's yada 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 Pharma.
Reviva.
It's not a.
I mean, that 6 looks juicy.
It's not a bad-looking daily chart. This is not one of your. It's been trending down forever into this move. This is actually a stock which, let me pull back the daily chart, which has support, legitimately speaking, at 350 on the daily. Yes, it is pulling back from $9, but look at the stock every time it gets underneath 4. Nice little bounce. Looks like it's trying to get and hold above 6 for a breakout. Like, that's pretty solid. I mean, it's not great, but that's not bad. Like, this isn't your average as penny stock daily chart looks terrible. Let's just fade it at the first chance you get. This looks like a chance to break out through 6 even. Probably waiting for tomorrow based on the volume that I'm seeing. Not enough volume for it to do more than that. Now PayPal, I think I just,
170.
I'm not going to get into PayPal here, but it's getting pretty close to that high of the day. I thought the high of the day was going to be an out. We never got back into it. Let's back off that offer. Go to the 15. The top is 50, yeah, 51.50. I should be just in front of the 40s on PayPal as we trail that one out. And I think I might get a chance to reload Ford. Nope, Ford's still chilling underneath VWAP on this bounce. I can't even get a reload on a weak name short. So I guess we got to be pretty patient here because nothing happening on Ford. AMC's right back at 97. I probably could have held on to that, but I just didn't like the way that one was setting up. Thought I would be looking elsewhere. Boeing, really thought we'd get the dip buy in Boeing. Sometimes it's just too strong. It got down to 40, and that was it. Now it's all the way at 184. So we wanted to dip buy into 183. It never gave it to you. It's still stair-step to the upside. Boeing, super strong today, but I couldn't get into it. Wanted that 183. I thought that's where it was worth it. Come back into the previous high to go dip hunting. Didn't quite get far enough to start getting into it. Just didn't want to be aggressive enough, I suppose.
All right, let's play a fun game. Are you ready, Neil, for this? I have a fun game for you.
What's the game?
All right, so this is for everybody out there as well. All right, I know the answer because it's my game.
Okay, well, okay, fair.
So that's why. So it's not like a game where we're trying to guess something that I don't know.
The answer is 42.
It's not, but that's going to be a good guess. And I'm going to tell you what the question is in a second. So everyone, get ready to play alongside. And some of you probably already know. But Neil, within the first couple seconds here, what do you think Carvana's price is right now?
31.
That's actually not so bad. So I'll give everyone a little bit of a chance.
I wasn't here on Friday, so I don't know.
No,
what it
I
did
didn't
on
know
Friday.
either. I had no idea. I just saw someone put in the chat, and I was like, let's go and have a quick little look. It's 27. So for me, that was really low. Like, I was really surprised. And I mean, forget about Friday, Neil. This is
27?
Yeah, but look at the daily chart. This is what I was trying to get at. The daily chart for Carvana, it hasn't been good forever. And again, like, we kept on pounding the table. This was not an investable name, yada, yada, yada. Just like VinFast, I called $5. It's $5. We called $10, obviously, for the way that one was looking as well. But yeah, Carvana, just another one of those names. And yeah, it's been really destroyed over the last couple of days. So I mean, we're not getting anywhere fast on this name. And I just wanted to say that.
Well, you're getting somewhere fast. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you're getting to the downside right now. I mean, cars and vending machines, I get it, it's great. But honestly, this little move down there, I'd say you got to wait for 23 and change. I just saw someone mentioning Carvana. I saw the price and said, let's do a little game. And I would have not guessed that. I think that's something that we could do every once in a while. Guess price levels of.
No, so what happened there was when I threw out 42 based on the reaction, I then knew I could guess low. I had to guess lower.
Because you know once you 42.
Yeah, once you told me
but
because I knew Carvana backed off the 50 level.
It was around 40s for a while. That's why I was like, that was a good guess, honestly.
But I knew it had pulled back underneath after being at like that 60 level, so I was pretty sure it had gotten destroyed. That's the thing about asking questions like that is because you know somebody. Like you're not asking me that question because Carvana's squeezing today.
No, but I mean it could have gone the other way. I guess it could have been. Thing is, I had no idea how low it was, so it's a good guess. I like that game. We'll play that.
But if you like stocks at the 200-period moving average,
yes, which I do,
don't buy this one.
No, do not. So the thing about it is, and this is what we talked about this with Michael Noss a couple times, which is why I'm excited to start my ETF game journey, I should say, a little bit, because honestly, it's like some of these ETFs that get down to those levels, from what I've noticed, and we can go over a bunch of them, man, and I will in a minute, but I'm just right now, let's go over to Apple because we're in Apple. So Apple right here, we just got that fill low. This is what we talked about. We said we were going to wait. I mean, for those of you that didn't, we said we were going to wait for this Apple print. I don't know how we knew exactly that it was coming down here. But we are into Apple right now. We got an 05 and we got an 01. I actually didn't realize I had an 01 there as well. So right now, our average price is 04 on Apple. There it is, up to 15s. Let's go right now. Yes, sir. That's honestly, guys, we'll spin that. I know this is only a dime and a little bit in the money. Let's now see if it goes back up to the upside. That just spiked. We got a bunch out. So our first out there was 11s. Then we just got 19s. So we take a little bit more out. And of course, I'm going to get excited with these kind of wins, right? So that's going to be a good one right there, back up to the upside. Not only, this is the other thing. And I talked about this with Mike, and I'll name drop Michael Noss. Dude, the guy owes us a beer, but he bought the beers last time he was here, so it's good. But the idea behind this is that we talked about trading this way, right? And that is that waiting for things to bring back in, be very, very patient, wait for your plays. And then the thing about me getting excited there is like, sure, it only goes 20 cents, but it worked. It came into VWAP, it worked, it held, it popped. Now, whether or not it holds from here, I'm gonna try it and see if it goes, but it's just these are the setups. So often we get emails, we get this and that, and people will send in stuff, and it's like they want more explanation of trades, and they want, I don't know. So that's what it was. We talked about Apple when it was up here at 170.50. And I said, when this falls back into VWAP, and again, it could also not have done that. I don't know, right? I said, when Palantir gets to 15, that might not happen. But this one came in, we stand there, we take the trade. Now, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, great as well. I mean, that's not great, but trades aren't gonna work out for you every single time. So it's about the process. Neil and I talk about this all the time. Find what works for you and then try to rinse and repeat that on different stocks, different levels until eventually you're confident enough that you can hopefully up your share size so the risk to reward makes more sense. And you never want to get overly confident when things just quite frankly aren't working. Make sure you look at the data, back test. Like I just clicked another piece out there at 11 on Apple because honestly, it's going and I'll take some profit. And if it continues to go to the upside, fine. We still have on 2/3 of this trade. But again, it's a dime in the money. The market is doing what right now? Tell me honestly, right? So if we can pick an Apple bottom jeans, and then if you have boots with the fur, then you're really going good. And then, I'm not going to continue. Anyways, it doesn't matter, but that's what that is. I hope you're enjoying the show. And if you are, I mean, I know Sharif's gone.
The market's not going to hit the floor, so it's kind of difficult.
Yeah, that's true. It may.
No,
Not today, that's for sure.
Yo, Streamlabs is paying out right now. I told Sean I won the spin every single day, at least once a day. I was on fire with this little Streamlabs thing, and then I've lost like 5 in a row today. But I just hit the rocket ships, so whatever that is.
It's the best possible ones, 10x.
It's the best one. By the way, if you're not in the chat, it's because you're not a subscriber. And if you want to be in the chat, you got to be a subscriber. And I got to hit this one. He's not here, but hey, for sure.
Share the show that takes you into the heart of the market every day.
And
to the heart.
Yeah, it is all about the heart. And then people want this. Hi, Katrine. Hola. Oh, bonjour this time. Ooh.
A little French?
Little French cuisine.
Do you speak any more French than that?
No.
You're like...
She says salle de bain.
I honestly...
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't remember it. I would have learned it at some point in my life.
Well, your daughter will teach you everything.
She is teaching me. Like, it's great. Like, my daughter's doing
salle
French
de bain
immersion.
is the bathroom, so that's what...
I'm surprised you remember that. You know we didn't do ish in high school French.
Oh,
I know it. You know it.
I'm not all about here saying that I'm like a French guy. There's no possible.
None of our crew in high school. Sean and I went to high school together.
The thing is, we went to a French immersion as well, or was it?
No, it wasn't.
Our high school was not.
No. Our high school wasn't. There were dudes that did French immersion before our high school.
Definitely grade 7, grade 8, middle school.
The middle school was, but not our high school.
Okay.
Because like the two guys that did French immersion going into it, those are the two that like helped me in my study sessions. I'm gonna go with that because that's not how it really went. But anyways,
Apple.
Intel's starting to pull back here. I like the bounce play. If you're going to continue trend, I want to try to pick this up, please. Okay, my 3-minute chart is not helping. But look at this high here. So this is about 35.75 from earlier, and this is where I'm looking for the dip. I am back in AMC. I said I would give it a hot minute off that $10 level before re-entering. Okay, it wicked the top at 10. I'll get back in when there's no crazy buy action up here, so there's nothing crazy on the tape. If I jump right back in that one at 96, I'll again give it to that top. And pretty much that's going to be it. Like if it gets into VWAP, great. If it gets to 980, the 980 is good enough. If it gets into VWAP, I'd be surprised. It's already 3:15.
Really?
It was past 3:15. There's like 45 minutes left. I did want to at least acknowledge Boeing. I could have been more aggressive with that little dip buy. I don't think I want to chase this. I'm missing a boatload of data on my 3-minute charts. I'm just going to keep on the 15-minute charts so this actually makes sense.
Data's overrated.
This is a super strong move today, relatively speaking, for Boeing, but it has yet to even get back to, like, it was destroyed last week off the 190 level. It's not even close to that. So I can cheerlead Boeing all I want, but this ain't breaking trend even by a long shot till it gets over 190, 200 are the things that have to happen. Why did BlackBerry pop, Intergalactic said? I have absolutely no idea why anyone would buy BlackBerry right now. But there was deal speculation on this company.
There was also a story.
But it could just be bouncing off lows. It looks like it's just bouncing off some lows. I'm not aware of any story with BlackBerry. It just seems like this is bouncing. Was there a story?
There was something I think with them and Amazon last week.
Okay, maybe.
It wasn't Friday. It wasn't the day. It wasn't the day you weren't here. But it didn't do anything.
Only at 5%.
I'm pretty sure there was a story about BlackBerry and Amazon. Hold on a second. I heard today that our news is officially sponsored by Benzinga, so shout out to Benzinga. Let me just do that right here. Okay, let me see here. Or was it Microsoft? No, BlackBerry Partners, STEM. No, that was Thursday. New generative AI. So there is a few different things. Government of Canada. That's not. I would have shorted it if that was the deal. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to look at this again. But there was new generative AI power assistance for security. It might have been something like this. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. But BlackBerry right now, yeah, it's not. It's not. Oopsies. I gotta figure that out. Now I just closed the news feed, so I'll get that back on in a minute, right there. But yeah, BB. For those of you wondering, we got. Oh, I want to talk about Apple too, but here's BlackBerry just real quick. What 360? We should have done play that game now.
Well, the thing is, I would have known where it came from.
Yeah, but I thought it was 5. It was 5, and then oh yeah, we had that big move.
Oh, it was 5 when I gave up my BlackBerry, and then in response to me finally moving on,
they said forget about it. This guy's done. It's going down. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was like that person. I was the.
You were the guy that basically crushed every hope and owners. You know, anyone that owns BlackBerry stock.
I was as loyal.
He
as
sent
possible.
an email to @TraderTV Neil on Twitter. I don't think, or not an email, a tweet. I don't think that.
I haven't owned that stock in a very, very.
Well, we always get in trouble. You know, when we short AMC, people are like, "Why are you guys shorting it?"
Never owned that stock.
I never.
I did.
I actually owned AMC.
But I did own. Well, I actually still own some Shopify. I did own BlackBerry. I at one point owned shares of Nortel. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's. You guys.
Oh, I probably did too, man.
Nobody knows who Nortel is, and the reason I'm saying those 3 names is those are like 3 big-time Canadian tech companies.
The biggest.
For anyone that's unaware of why we even bother mentioning those 3. Come on, AMC, like, really? It gets to $10, and now it's going to move in like a 5-cent range? Really, it's just going to be a 5-cent range for this thing? That is completely insane. But it is what it is. Like, that's what it wants to do, then I'll have to be patient for it. Allow it to make the move next.
Oh, bye.
Okay, here we are. I'm just going to have to
It's
take this.
PayPal time.
Yeah, I'm getting out of PayPal.
Oh.
It's not. PayPal is now not moving. So no dip into VWAP. Now it's holding, again, a 10-cent range. I'm just going to get out off this high. It's a double top on PayPal. I think this is pretty much, at this point, looking like it's done. See, some of you guys know Nortel. Larry in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's lots of Canadian people here, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, we're really dating ourselves with that stock. Because think about it, like I had to be old enough to own. Because I didn't actually own stock until I was an adult. Like I was one of those people that had stock when I was a kid. So I was an adult when I owned it. Obviously, things didn't end well with that one. But you learn these lessons. You learn those lessons early on. Like just because a company is a company that you've heard of, and look, my father worked in Nortel. I had a lot of family friends that work there. Just because it's in that bucket doesn't necessarily mean it's a good stock to own. And I should have known better because my dad had cashed out his options when I was still in it. He was smart enough to get out. Sometimes you take that instead of buying and get out of the way. So I'm out of PayPal. I do still want to grab a dip buy, but I don't think it's going to be here. Intel feels like, I mean, the second I want 75s, it bounces off 80s. So this one's getting a little bit far away as well. I can stick a fork in that Boeing trade. I think we're a little late in the day to be chasing anything. Yeah, I can't buy a high like that, 184. And just a word on my charts, because anytime you see where it's missing this data in the middle, I'm going to disregard VWAP because I'm going to assume that's not correct. Because there's no volume in all of those candles, so it's going to be wrong. But I can pop the 15-minute up to see the levels. Not chasing Boeing, but I do like that 183 if we ever get it again. I don't know if I want to reload forward, but I do want to get some more out here as long as it's underneath 980. Microsoft was the other name that I liked. But yeah, I'm still sitting here. Not going to get this 336. It's not going to bounce into VWAP, so I can go ahead and cancel that. It's 323. If it drops $1.50 into VWAP, I probably want to let it make the move down instead of just sitting around there waiting for it to get hit on the bid. Like, it could be nasty by the time it fills you. So it's not going to be this one. Meta, if anything, at these highs, Meta feels like a short, weirdly, because this is only now getting to VWAP. Meta's only getting to VWAP, seriously. Like, I was in this long at 02s, and it couldn't bust VWAP. Right back under 02s. It cannot seem to break 05. Meta short 305. Oh, God, I didn't want to be shorting things. And all of a sudden, it's like out of the longs. Meta does look pretty weak at 305. Yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
I just going over here on the Twitter machine right now. Find the ultimate trade prep checklist. You can go find that right now. Also, join me in just 26 minutes. We will have the recap show tonight with earnings. Pinterest is on board, so we'll see if Pinterest can come through. There's a couple other names that we will look at. We'll look at today's market recap and whatnot, and then got to give a big shout out here because this is Queen Money. So Queen Money was all about the money today. She says, thank you so much, Sean, for the AMD short. You are welcome. That was a lot of fun. Then I was like, yo, do a cartoon of me, the show, whatever. So then here this is right here. So this is Neil and myself with a Simpsons little activity right here. I think it's pretty good. So here I am wearing my sweater. It's all in blue. This
It's
view
even
here.
like what we were
me
wearing
here.
today.
It is what we're wearing today. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing, right? So there it is. Shout out to Queen Money. And when you are Queen Money, then there's money in this kind of stuff. So there it is, AI generated. Pretty cool, man. So I thought that was really fun.
I love the stuff
I'm
you
gonna
can do
maybe
with
my
that.
kids don't really watch Simpsons too much, but that is pretty. Yeah, shout out to Juan. That is dope, and everybody there in the.
We were having a discussion. Well, we
That's pretty fun. But there is.
were
a
having
lot
a discussion about Simpsons at lunchtime today.
Yeah, we were. Just really quickly here. All right, so Apple just made a high again on the range. So we're just ringing registers now, man. That's basically what we're doing on these trades. Like, you know, on the way back up, piecing it out every time it comes here. No more, not going to do it anymore. Let's let Apple continue to go up to the upside right now as that continues to go. And then another thing that we just put out on the Twitter machine was Sofi. What a better afternoon it was than the morning, baby. All you have to do, forget about all the stuff down there. All you have to see is this. So here you go. What else? What else am I supposed to do other than hold everything until the very top? Stair-stepped it out. Really, really happy with this trade. Felt like it made some sense there for me to do this. Came back in, gave a bottom. We saw the bottom hit once, then we got it right off that. It's embarrassing, to be honest with you guys, the stop that I have here, because it's pretty low, the stop that I have here on Sofi. I'll tell it to you. My out was a break of 660. So we're long here at 70s. I have the stop order in right now. If it broke 660, so that's 667. So right there, that's 10 cents. So we're now in the money 30. So not a horrible trade after all for Sofi. But again, breaking through 7's a good one. And we should have got more out, man. We said we weren't going to do it. Now my stop is here at 95. So someone in the chat asked me, where was my stop initially? It was a break below 90. So we were playing off this little wedge right there. That's 87, so something like that. But now that we've really consolidated, the market's at highs in Apple NEPA heading into this event, then we will get out, man. 196.95, breaker, 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 19. Do you read? So right there, we'll see what happens now for that one, getting it out. Good World Series so far. Too bad some of the teams are a little lower on the ratings poll, but I think it's been. What was it, 9-1?
If you didn't enjoy, I mean, if you like baseball, you liked Game 1. Like, are you kidding me?
Game 1 was great.
Are you kidding? Like, candidly, I am cheering for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I went to 11
because they got a couple of ex-Blue Jays on the team and a guy in my baseball pool he's been in my baseball pool for years. Most of us haven't even met the guy. He lives in Arizona and he's a friend of one of ours.
Oh, okay.
And so he loves it.
Whoops.
He lives in Arizona, so I'm going to cheer for them. A couple of ex-Jays on there, but wow. I love seeing like walk-off home run. Like that's the best feeling in the world. If you've never hit a walk-off in your life, it's like the feeling is the same thing as like dunking a basketball, or I've never hit a hole-in-one, or I've never had a birdie. So I'd imagine like hitting a birdie probably has a pretty good
that's a pretty good feeling too. Yeah, hole-in-one much better. I've never done it.
I've had some birdie putts. I had an eagle putt.
Yeah.
I had an eagle putt. I parred the hole, and I was pretty happy with myself. I'm a
Par is
very,
good,
very
man.
bad
Par
golfer.
is good.
But like hit a walk-off shot, that's a good one. I got first out here at 990 on AMC. So I got out when it broke 10. It wicked 10. I gave it a hot minute to see what it would do there. Consolidated off that high. So I got 95s and 97s. I'm still holding, but it's not really falling like a rock just yet. Ford is not doing a heck of a lot either. Matt Carnes, bowl of 300. Well, I would imagine, yeah, I mean, I have no idea what a perfect game feels like, but I would imagine, like, all those things I said probably apply to bowling a perfect game as well.
Any sport.
Yeah, I mean, just pick it. Like, it's just one of, like, what else could you do other than hit a walk-off home run in baseball? It is, like, the best feeling you could possibly have. Game-winning shot, like, whatever you love there. Like, I mean, get bottom wick on a stock. Get in the good way. Bottom wick obviously can mean a bad thing, but get bottom wick on a stock. Get top wick on a stock in a good way. Like, it's just the pinnacle. So when you see that happen, it's fantastic. But I'm not rooting for Texas. As I've said before, I have nothing against Texas. I actually love I love Dallas, the city, but Texas once had a second baseman that knocked our star player almost unconscious. So as far as I'm concerned, it's going to be a few years before I'm cheering for them.
The Arizona management is making our management look silly, though, right?
You know what? I'm not one of those.
Moreno?
I'm not one of those people that's bitter, like they fleeced us on a trade, so therefore I'm not going to cheer for them. No, I love the two players. Like I love Moreno and Lords when they were Blue Jays, so I'm happy for them that they're going to get a chance to possibly win a World Series. It sucks that they're literally carrying another team when it should be us they're carrying, but you got to get past that at some point. Like I'm done being frustrated with the Jays. I'll be frustrated for next year. I don't know if you've seen the construction. If they're tearing apart and redoing our stadium, which it's about time they're doing this because it's like the oldest stadium out there. That's a new build, and they're finally going to make the entire thing modern amenities, which had been a while. But shout out to Vin. I've been to Fort Worth twice. Been to the rodeo there. Absolutely loved it both times. My daughter freaking loved the rodeo. She thought it was cool, and I knew nothing about it when I went there. It's like I was getting taught the rodeo by. What they were doing there. Like I have an idea what it is, but I had no idea like how any of the events worked. And some really nice people were explaining it to me. I had a great time, had a few pints. It's a great place to be, friendly people. I want to go to Coinbase here because Coinbase just okay. I know I said Coinbase was a long earlier, but Coinbase just wicked 74 as the market's getting to the high. It's the same way I feel about. Essentially that $10 level on AMC. Like you wick that 74 as the market's slowing down at the highs. It's 330. I just want to short off this top. Like it just got right back underneath. I can get out if it breaks 74.10, so I just put the stop in. It's a double top. I was short this level. Well, I was short off the highs earlier, but now I want to short this in the 90s. Give it to that high of the day, and then just play the fade here. I don't want to chase it too far, but you wick a level like that, to me, that's almost always going to be an entry. You wait for things like that. AMC's starting to come back down. So when I say wick a level, it breaks the key resistance level. In AMC's case, it's 10, shows like one tiny little wick, and then consolidate under for the short. In Coinbase's case, there it is, like 74, breaks the high of the day, gets through 74 even, wicks underneath, shows you an entry here in the 80s or 90s. I'm trying to get it 85 to 90, and then maybe a pullback. If you get VWAP, great. I don't think you're going to get VWAP on this one. But I don't want to chase it. But when I see that, I'm generally speaking thinking a short off a level like that on coin. I think I missed it.
Yeah, again, Apple. Ooh, actually, I didn't even reopen that news on Benzinga there. I was like, oh, I'm missing my dashboard. Okay, so just an early look. Brendan just gave us a number. It's only 200 million to sell, so it's not like a huge downside move that we're expecting at all here today. So we will wait to see if that is coming through or not. But just early, Royal, MFC. So it just looks like some banks were on there. Ford maybe as well. Foot Locker with a buy. But these are all. It's really irrelevant. I just wanted to show it to people that this is what the balances are, and it's still so early. Like it's honestly not even really worth talking about yet. But we'll just continue to watch out for them. These are the market on close imbalances now to the sell side. All right, so to end off a good trade, we'll say, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Because we have a very small piece of Sofi left, just waiting to see about 7. Probably going to get rid of this if we do take too much below here. 6. I mean, let's just set it up right now. Cancel my. Actually, my Sofi trigger, I actually lied because I misread my trigger. My stop on this 70 fill was that break. It was 64. The marketable price was 60. So I was willing to pay 4 cents downside. So the break was 64. So what am I long now? 73. So that's about right. That makes sense. So a dime. So I gave this a dime to get going, and then we just wound up taking long 70s out there. My best out is 30 cents. So about 3 to 1. Would have liked for it to be more shares up there, but that was still a good one. We'll wait on that. And then those of you asking about my Apple, we got to stick to it. Again, what we were thinking was Apple Damn it. The minute I wipe my eyes, it's like,
I have something in my eye.
I feel like, yeah, I don't know what it is either. Maybe it's too dusty again around here. But there's the break again below 170. So we're going to be out of that one, heading into the very scary and spooky Apple event that will happen there tonight, where they will be announcing, I believe it's just faster processors, and things like that. So we should be all good with everything Apple heading into tonight. So yeah, pretty good trade here, needless to say, on that, to get in and to get out. We are now positive on Apple, and that is now done. Palantir did not get to 15, although it came pretty close. We were going to try to be greedy, not greedy, but patient, I guess is the better word, and try to short it where we did before. The only thing is that was more a VWAP play, so again, well taken there. Spot on Palantir, but we'll have to wait.
Did you say
Spot on, yes, for that one. As we were watching, it's that stupid Chef Ramsay. I don't know, we were watching Kitchen Nightmares or Hell's Kitchen, and he's like, spot on, right there. So there it is right there. But we were. You said there was no better feeling than Top Wick. I mean, AMD.
In a good way. Top Wick.
Top Wick in a good way. Yeah, there it is right there on AMD. We already have the top of the day. So top of the morning to you, my friend Russell Jackson from Australia. But there it is right there. 97 came back in again on AMD. So that should have been a short. Was not understanding. It was not on there to trade it. So that would have been a good opportunity. And then just to talk about Tesla, there's only 25 minutes left on this one. Again, I apologize for the wicks, but a lot of you have them all over your system as well, from what I've been seeing in the chat. 199, you know. Again, 200. Like, things have to start hitting here, as we only have now 15 minutes until the imbalances. Yeah, so not real much happening.
Except for 4L Taz taking 100 points off me.
Did he?
You got challenged as well.
I did. I'm always accepting every challenge.
I just hit accept. If you challenge me to a duel in the chat, I'll put my.
I see it's Westermeyer there.
It's all good. And then all of a sudden everyone's gonna start doing it. So I'll just hit accept and. See, I got an eyelash in my eye. I apologize for that, but I just took some out at. Why am I apologizing for having an eyelash in my eye?
Oh, that's right.
Anyways,
Westermeyer.
So I took another leg out here of AMC, but I'm going to get more aggressive in front of the 80s. This is getting really annoying. In front of the 80s here. And I'm not going to reload at 10. Ford, I am not going to reload. It looks like, yeah, I'm going to cancel that offer here. Underneath VWAP, I'm just going to get on the bid to get it all out at 975. It's absolutely killing me, this eyelash. But I'll hit accept pretty much everywhere. Ian David just said Roblox. Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. And you're not supposed to, I know I'm not supposed to rub it. I tell my daughter that all the time. It's like a reflex action. Roblox, 31.75. I don't know why that's an important price, but it's at 31.75. I can't imagine why that's significant. I'm just gonna go to my 15-minute. No trade zone, 32. That's resistance on Roblox, 32. And I have to actually shut my eye, it's ridiculous. 33 is the other level. 32, breaking out, 33 resistance. This is actually still a strong stock. As long as Roblox is holding 30, I think you play the longs off the bottoms, but at this time of day, the only trade available is going to be short off the top. As well, I guess you could short it here if you wanted to, but I don't like that because 32 is the bigger level. Dual 420. I can't hit accept for everybody on the dual, especially when I literally am like blind out of my right eye right now, which is really frustrating. Hey, we're live. I'm going to make it work, but I'm not going to put anything new on at this point. Tesla, where is it going to be? Like, look at Tesla. Tesla, when the market gets to the high, it can't even get to VWAP to be shorted. Think about how weak you have to be that the market, like this is, like Tesla's a problem right now in terms of its price action. Like the NASDAQ gave the typical, we're just going to go the entire way, both ways, and get back to the high of the day. That move that it's been doing, typically speaking, you're getting to VWAP. Even on a weak name, it's going to get back to VWAP at some point. This never even sniffed it today. Tesla is under a tremendous amount of pressure. It's probably headed to the 180 mark, if not even lower than that when I see this. And and it's every single EV name. I don't mean to, like, I don't want to single them out because Lucid's bad, Rivian's bad. I mean, I was going to say Mullen, but who cares about Mullen? It was somebody else. Fisker was down 10% today. This entire space is going through this like huge reset sort of deal. And price discovery has yet to find a bottom on any of these names. Like, look at, actually, this is a double bottom right now on Fisker.
Ooh.
420 is a double bottom on the daily on Fisker, and it's down almost 10% today. Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't want to be talking myself into a scalp long at 339. But tomorrow, if we still have the same 420 level on Fisker tomorrow, I think that can be worth it. I think it might have gone SSR because the low of the day is 430 and it closed at 479. So it is SSR. So tomorrow you have Fisker, day 2 short sell restricted, on a double bottom on the daily from April. That's worth a shot at the long off at least 4 or 420, depending where the stock opens up tomorrow. Tesla week, probably Elon Musk selling. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm not saying he sold, but like, does that surprise anybody? How many times have we seen Tesla unusually weak based on its price action, and then you find out a couple of days later that there was a big sell? Because that's generally speaking what it means. When the market is just bleeding back to the upside, Tesla is exactly the kind of stock that traps shorts at the bottom and then bounces, right? That's what it usually does. Today, it's absolutely not doing that. So I'm going to say maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but I will not be surprised if he has sold some shares.
I was looking, man. Apple went all the way back up, right there. So we got out. We did the dance. You know, we did what we thought we were going to do, and yeah, it just fell back in there. As we'll continue to look for other names. Honestly, man, it's like Apple's in a 20-cent range for 30 minutes, so we're going to pass on that. I was going to say, what about an oil name? We saw CVX moving around a little bit. Let's check out what Exxon is doing here as we're at VWAP for Exxon. But it's, oh, God, we have that. Can't even look at it because we have that wick there. Let me see what Chevron's doing. 145, 146, CVX. Same wick again. All right. I could edit them and go over to it. Yeah, go ahead.
Before we go to the desk, the early look was a small sell of 198 million. It's now 11 million to buy. The imbalance is now from a small sell to an even smaller buy. 11 million to buy when it was 198 million to sell. I just took some more out of AMC because it's starting to bounce here a little bit. And we're getting to the end of the day. Got to get out of all our positions, and we got to go to the desk to take care of some business.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, they do.
Conditions apply.
You seen Pinterest today?
Oh, yeah, Pinterest reports tonight. Oh, shoot, I got to update that board for today. Do we have the earnings? We could have a quick look at that as we can have a quick look also at Pinterest when the earnings board is ready. Pinterest up to $25 right now. Hold on, I'm not on it right now. Pins right now. Let's go. Here's Pinterest right here. So let's see what is up with Pinterest today. Nicely done, up 3% here. They do report, you know, a nice little bottom take there if you're into this kind of thing on Pinterest down to $24. I don't really know enough about this to know what they're going to do right now, but I don't really like a lot of this online kind of stuff right now. I really like Amazon. That's like something for sure. I know Pinterest, I thought they had some sort of a little bit of a deal there maybe with Amazon.
They have to get bought.
October 30th tonight. So right there, volume today a little extended, 4.5% short or almost 5% short float. Not super, super exciting. So let's go over to the board one more time and get ready to see what is reporting tonight. Okay, Simon Properties, I'm not in that anymore, but I was. What else is over there? I can't see. Arista, is that Dell Tower? What does that say? Pinterest, Public Storage.
Tomorrow, I mean, after market tonight, like Pins is...
Eli Lilly tomorrow.
Pins is probably going to move at least a little bit because that's the only time that it does move.
So I'll put Pinterest.
But tomorrow morning, man, Eli Lilly has been an absolute older position more one way. I'm still in AMC short 997, still short Ford at 985. Eli Lilly has been an absolute monster. Can they justify it with those earnings? And I think Caterpillar is getting into at least close enough to dip buy territory. GE Healthcare is just a value name, and Pfizer has been sick for a while. See that?
Word.
No, nothing.
Yeah, Pfizer. Well, no, I mean Pfizer's been beat up for.
It is so. But it's bouncing off the $30 level. This feels as if it's just down enough, and it's trying to make a double bottom. But the trend is, let's just say it's undefeated on Pfizer since it broke about 50. Key level, I only know this because this is where I bought it during the pandemic. 25, 26 is that pandemic. The pandemic breakout, like easy entry price was 25, 26. If Pfizer sees that after earnings, I'm a buyer. But yeah, until that happens, I mean, the trend is your friend. This could pop 10% and not break the trend. Like, that's how bad it is for Pfizer at this point. So, I mean, my first thought would be when it's this far down, maybe it gives you a shot to short the 33 to 34 range tomorrow morning. But again, you got to wait till aftermarket for those earnings. AMC is now getting strong again. I should have taken it. I'm out of over half, but I should be out of almost, maybe just even all of it. It's 944. The move off 10 pulled back, and the best was 986. So it's not really even that big of a pullback, unfortunately, here off a $10 level in AMC. Intel never really gave us the, dip buy we wanted. Could have shorted 36, didn't, just got out of the long. Never good enough for the dip buy. Fireball saying Eli Lilly's on Thursday. I'm not going to assume that we didn't make a mistake. Yeah, you're right.
It is on Thursday?
Yeah, no, I see Thursday for Eli Lilly
it's
too.
on Thursday.
So,
shoot.
yeah, shout out to you guys. You're probably doing it right now. Yeah, Pins, Caterpillar, Pfizer is the other one. But yeah, Eli Lilly's November 2nd. I just double checked it myself. So thank you for pointing that one out. Oh, this was a name that's strong today. Shout out to Jennifer Schultz. Oh, wait a minute. You meant Snapchat or Snap one? Oh, you snapped 150 off 414 NVIDIA. So you took profits on NVIDIA trade. I thought you were mentioning the Snapchat being strong today. But if you snap some profits off NVIDIA, then congratulations to you. But I did want to mention Snapchat up 5%, hunting the $10 level. This is the $10 level recently. Look at that. It holds above 8. It dips into 9 and bounces. Now it's trying to break out 10. It is not that complicated. Maybe the break of 10. So when it was above $10, it was for a few seconds at the open last week, and that was about it. So if it gets to 10 again, to me, that's still a pretty valid breakout area because it was an instant rejection. It never got a chance to trade above 10. So if it takes out the 10 tomorrow, that looks pretty strong to be sure. But let's just check out what's going on. Because you said you snapped off some profits on NVIDIA. I'm assuming a 415 short because what else could you have done in the last few minutes? Congratulations to you. I should have taken... I got to hit that, let it stop, and then talk. I should have taken that Intel 36 short. Got out of it, was like, let's be patient. Thought the market would grind a little bit higher to set up some more shorts. It just never came into play. But good look on that one, taking that short. On NVIDIA, I should 100% have been in that Intel short. It was good enough to get out. It went to 35.90, like 99, went to 35.99. That should have been a short off that level. But thank you guys. Look, and again, if we make a mistake, stock price level or some kind of information we give out, we want you to make sure you let us know. Because we want to make sure everyone has the right information. I want you prepping for Eli Lilly, then wondering tomorrow morning, hey, I came in with this big trade plan and it's not reporting tomorrow. But it is going to be a monster mover. I expect Eli Lilly is going to be a double-digit mover just based on what this stock has been doing recently. And obviously, I don't know that there's a pharma name, I mean a big cap, obviously, that's had any kind of a move like this that is not due to these weight loss drugs. But it's just like it's pulled back 10% and it doesn't even look like anything. So I don't think it should have any trouble on Thursday having a double-digit move. Not to say that it's an obvious trade. We'll go over the levels anyway, so I know people are in options on this one. I wish I had sold more than 10% now that I'm thinking about it. And if it were to pop in the next couple of days, I might sell a little bit more. It just feels a little toppy.
Yeah, you got to take profit on those. We did sell some at 609. We did it basically live for you guys on the show. We talked about getting in some. We were up 140% on it. I only had 10 shares, so $6,000 worth up there at $600. We only sold 1 share, so 15%. No, 10%. Sorry, of that. All right. Now let's look. All right. I don't really know. Pinterest making the move down. I feel like we can just hang out here for a little bit. Let's just check out Tesla. Tesla's been, again, these charts are going to be bad because of all these wicks, but everything's just kind of hanging out for the last little while. You know what was moving around, though, today was, I thought DraftKings was having a day. Oh, back down to 27. That's not very good for DKNG, for sure. Okay, so yeah, you're at the bottom of the daily range again here for DraftKings. So another name right here where you could get that break lower, and it's going to be nasty when it does. I mean, honestly, these names, they're good names, but again, being up 400% or whatever it was for the year, go back down to January where this name was,
So what's DraftKings up today?
For the bottom was $9 up to 34, so about 3.5 times. Yeah, it's still up 1%, so it's still fine today for sure. I was just looking at it like I don't want it to lose that $25 mark because that's the 200 period, and that's where it's supposed to be supported. You did have some nice upside moves. Again, we've talked about sort of customer acquisition costs and whatnot. DraftKings had its day, and I feel like might be a while till we get back to $30. I am not a huge fan of DraftKings down at these levels under the 50 period below. Kind of looks like when we were like, oh my God, like Rivian's going to be a good buy when it gets down into here in the 200 period. And then it didn't even have a real chance. It opened up below into $17 and since then has just been heading lower. So this is, honestly, this doesn't look too different than DraftKings, where you had some nice moves there, a nice bump on earnings and then fade the 50, couldn't hold it. Now let's see if it holds. And again, like just go back. This is what this looks like. Again, here's the move, right? Nice move up. Can't hold the 50-period moving average.
It looks a little better.
Oh, it looks better. Oh, yeah. It's not breaking through the 200 yet. But when it does, you're not going to feel good about this position.
Yeah,
okay.
I like dip buys when you bounce off the 200 period on a daily chart.
Right, so it's got to do that.
Yeah, I want no part of a
I
breakdown.
just worry that it opens below like Rivian did. That's
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, the only reason I asked what DraftKings was, Penn is up 6% and actually had a very strong day today. Penn made a triple bottom. Actually, that's a quadruple bottom. 4 days in a row at more or less the same level, and then it went $1.20 off the top. So this might be on the, you know what, this almost should be on the radar for a local breakout and trying to fill in the gap. So like 19 to 19.20, might look at that tomorrow on Penn. Super, I mean, this stock, if you think that DraftKings is, I mean, Penn's chart is like not infinitely worse, that's an exaggeration, but it's significantly worse. This has not caught a bid. Maybe it's starting to do so and can get back above 20. That's the only reason I bring it up. 6% for Penn. You got to find these kernels of outperformance, relative strength, relative weakness. I wish I could tell you I was long on AMC because that qualified pretty much all day. I just took another out here in the low 90s because it's not really moving. It's now 350. The imbalances are out. AMC, I'll hang on to it because it hasn't broken 10 just yet. But really, it's not running away from that price level the way you would expect it to. Ford is actually a buy. I'm still in that one, oddly enough. Siri, who cares about that? Uber, strong stock today. Uber, 800,000 to sell. Uber had a really good day today. I'm not seeing any real big cap names. Palantir, that's really small for Palantir, 500,000. Amazon, 500,000 to sell. Nothing really stands out, but and Uber, hopefully it hasn't pulled back too much because it was really strong when I looked. Yeah, Uber is having a great day. Still playing off the highs here for Uber. $43, stair step to the upside with the market, even as it rolls over. See now Uber, that's a bounce in front of the 200-period moving average. It didn't even get there. It just got to 40 even and is making a nice little bounce. So correction off the top, holds the 200-period. The next thing I want to see is a consolidation, and then it's going to continue to look, I mean, relatively strong. Anything that's not breaking that 200, I think is in decent shape in this little correction that we're having. Why even wait for 10? I might just get out of it here. It's going to give me a chance. There we go. You just got to 998 again on AMC. I'm going to take it. Just dipped into 95. I took that and ran. Ford is still chilling. 975. I'm just going to get on the bid of Ford and get out of it. As long as Ford's underneath 10 bucks, going to be looking for shorts. Going to keep it very simple with this stock. Let it show you that it's caught a bid. Let GM show you that they've caught a bid. Let Rivian show, like, you know, these stocks are so weak right now. Let them show that there is a buyer somewhere else and don't try to be the hero that stands in front of it because these all look pretty sick right now.
Yeah, we traded, and again, we'll have a good day today. We traded 8 names and we're going to go 7-1. And we have a red stock. It's going to be AMD, and it's just, again, we got hit on that last little piece right there, going to the short side, and then we took a hit on AMD earlier right there when we were short and got stopped out. Then we made a nice play back, but got enough out there to sort of put us back to flat on the stock for sure. And then we gave it up right here. So we're down 2 cups of coffee on AMD, but we're down. What we're down on AMD, we don't have any, like we're up more on all the other 7 names. So far so good on that one, as it's going to be another we talked about this last week. We had a couple days last week, 8-1, 8-2, 9-1, and again 7-1. So we're pretty hot right now with some of these trades. So let's just keep the market where it is and keep hitting some of these key levels. And I think it's just, honestly, it's about being patient. And like, I think this Sofi trade is a perfect example of it. It fell right into our lap. We got long, and then it's really just out all the way up here, right? And then trying to be patient, right? Like, Apple's not going to look good where we got out. But again, you're putting strong names in your blotter and having profitable days. It's like when we're buying Apple right here on this break, boom, right up there to the upside, 170.80. You know, reload it down here on VWAP, takes them out. And we did this live in front of everybody as we were talking. I mean, this is pretty much 2 o'clock. You could have had the same prices. Nice move, and then it breaks. But you stay liquid on these names. You stay sort of fluid, be able to get in and out. Don't hold all your shares for that one major dramatic move. And I think a perfect example of that, again, is Microsoft. Look, we were short Microsoft. Well, how could Microsoft be the number 3 name here today? Well, it's because we put on shares when it mattered. Then we got out of the way when it mattered as well. It broke through our levels. So again, in here, hit it to the downside, respect the move, then get short again, take a little bit out for profit, and then boom, when it goes back up to the upside, we're out. So we don't have these huge hits, honestly, on any name today. Tesla's a good one. We've already talked about why we like, I mean, look how clean this Palantir trade is. Right off VWAP and boom, right down there. You want to talk about having lows ticks of the day, right? This on Palantir, a couple pennies away. You know, like, you got it. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes trades don't go for you. So it's hit the winners when the winners are there. You know, you're not, it's like over, like I just said, what are we, 30-3 or something, 30-5 maybe? Or the last, I don't know, well, not Friday, but the last couple days before that, you got to get lucky. And sometimes you are, and that's why you hit those trades. So we'll be here tomorrow, man. It's going to be a good day. Not too many earnings. It's going to be Pinterest, but join me coming up very, very soon as traders stay late, and we'll stay till 4:30. So 4:30, we'll review the sectors. We'll talk about Pinterest. We'll go over some good names, hopefully. We'll talk about a trade of the day that we had on today, and then we'll take some viewer Q&A. So hopefully we'll be able to have a good little segment with everybody. And I just thought about that viewer Q&A. I'm going to add that to the board.
Yeah, I like answering the times I filled in. I think on Friday it's usually really good for it too.
Yeah,
because
yeah, we had that on Friday.
There's never going to be earnings on it. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's no earnings I'm aware of that report after market on Friday. I'm sure somebody else.
There's just only that Pan W that one time.
Yeah, that one time. Yeah, but exactly. It was just one time, and we never really see it. So it's a great time to do it. Want to acknowledge some strength here in the energy names. I did say like Chevron. I actually wanted to drop a couple of dollars because I was sitting on the bid, not here, but like my personal account for Chevron. But yeah, XOM, bit of a spike there at the end of the day. Not much, but it got into 106. It got a bad wick in there, but that's still a decent bounce off VWAP. I didn't see it on the locator. Reliable Rudy said before the show ends, can you look at this candle on BTAI? Sure, because you know what? That's my bad. I did see you guys. I saw a few people talking about BTAI in the chat, and then did not. I don't think I pulled it up. Sometimes what will happen is we'll kind of go back and forth, and I'll have like, okay, well, as Sean's talking, these are the things I want to get to next, be a couple of trades, and a stock I wanted to mention, and then I knew in my head I wanted to talk about BTI, and I never did. You're obviously talking about on the daily here. This is not a reverse split bounce, but it's still like a long consolidation double bottom off of 225. So a move like this, the thing is, it's kind of filled the gap already. And I'm talking about like the gap in here to 450. The next feat for a stock like that is to make a run at the bigger gap to the upside. So the long consolidation bottom, well, it just put that in like 5 days. In 5 days, you've done the double up to do this move right into here. So I would almost think like it's consolidating here. I generally expect a consolidation day tomorrow off a level like that, like 450. Like somewhere, like holding anywhere 350 to 450 is probably good for this, and then it can try and make another leg. If it fails 350, I think you let it get back down into, I don't know, like 250 to $3, and then it goes sideways again. But yeah, good start for BTAI. If you're already in this, I'm sure you probably rang the register already. If you haven't, no one ever went broke taking profits. I don't know specifically what the catalyst might have been for this stock. I'm just going back over from my old penny stock days. Like usually when you fill in the gap and you get up here, you find some resistance and pull back and look for the next consolidation. 90 seconds to go. You know what's happening in 90 seconds. You're not going anywhere. You're going over to Sean. I can tell you the market is rolling over a little bit better. 1% still the upside, but if you had any shorts off the top, that's where it certainly was. I'll be angry at myself for not getting that Intel 36 short. You win some, you lose some. This should have been a short at 36, no questions about it. It's back into 35.70. Jennifer Schultz, Caterpillar 220 soon. Who is buying large equipment? I don't know where it's going to go to. I feel like it's heading lower, and that doesn't mean I don't dislike it. I think it is in the midst of probably a decent pullback that it should be doing. My daily has a crazy wick on it as well, so apologies for that. Yeah, but I could see it easily back in the 220 range. If not, the 200 level is the one that makes some sense. You've rejected the 200 period as well going into the earnings. So if it is going further to the downside, I could easily see it bouncing off of 200. That's the level I like. With 30 seconds to go, I didn't even see where we were on the light counter, but we hit it twice. And where we get to 540. Adara's going to have a frown on her face when she hears that one. She was trading Netflix today, which I think is very courageous when you're just starting out. That's a crazy stock. But get the camera off me and put it on Adara because we got the countdown on for this Monday update. Monday update. Here we go. It was actually up today despite the fact that we're selling off right now. In 4, 3, 2, and 1, ring it. And we are now closed. NASDAQ's going to close up 1% despite that sell-off. The ES is going to close up a little bit more than that. You had some of the energy names actually bouncing. Everything was good unless you were an EV name, in which case you got absolutely shellacked today, starting and ending with Tesla. Okay, technically speaking, a few were worse than Tesla, but it felt like Tesla was the worst. Shout out as always to Fabian and Ramin on the 1s and 2s doing a fantastic job, as they do. I want to shout out Obi because you know, Sharif wasn't feeling well. He started out the day and just he had to take the rest of the day off. He wasn't feeling well. Obi stepped in, did the full midday with Adara. So I want to thank both of them for doing a fantastic job as always. Shout out to Brennan, always giving us the timely news, and to our guest this morning, Michael Noss, as always doing a great job with his analysis, some higher time frame analysis. You know who I am, and you know where you're headed. That's back over to the desk. We got Pinterest earnings after the bell and a whole lot of other names for the rest of this week. But let's get into that market recap show. Sean is at the desk. Let's get into it.
All right, welcome to the recap show, everybody. I'm Sean Katina, and we are just getting our trade ideas locked and loaded because we should have a good report coming through